Hello, and welcome to our game tonight. We are returning to Vildheim with all our badass shield maidens, and Vildheim. Vildheim is now in its last days on Kickstarter. So we have already funded, or they have already funded awfully queer publications. But I would appreciate for more people to put that because I want that world map so bad. I do want that world map very, very badly. So if we can, go do that. However, in our last little story, our group of shield maidens came to Aska, and Aska was in trouble because the Yule Cat was stalking them, and they did not have the blooms to color their clothes red protectively. So they went out and they rescued some youngsters, and they got just enough of the petals to, make a little bit of threat to keep the mean old Yule Cat away. And then they came back. They had a lot of beer. And I'm thinking that most of our shield maidens decided to stay for a little bit to make sure that nobody got hurt in those 12 days after the winter solstice. Now it is afterwards. One of your friends, your hunter, got a little overwhelmed by all the bark that she could eat, and she actually took off. She had a little bit of wiggly feet. But another one of your friends has joined you guys. And as you guys are sitting in the, I remember it right, the Frosty Tankard, which is the tavern in Aska. I want to go around and have you guys introduce your characters. For everybody who was not here the last time, Vildheim is a D10 light system, and it is very much inspired by Norse, Bloodborne, all of these kind of things. So it is Norse, Scandinavian, Gothic, like the Goths, not, the actual people, not the subculture. And we are playing in more of the Nordic Norse inspired north of this world. So we're gonna start with Mary.
Hi everybody, I'm Mary. Today I'm playing Aoife. Our pronouns are she, her. She is the witch character class, and so lots of magic, scary hexes, goth queen. We're excited to see how it's going to go.
All right, next is Torin.
Hello everyone, I am Torin, or Torin Talks Creativity. My pronouns are she, they. I am playing Soren, and yes, I do realize how silly that sounds, but I like it. And their pronouns are they, them. They are our wildkin Sandcat character, and I'm very much in love. They are our druid of the party. So a little bit of magic, mostly claws, fun times. Very excited.
All right, next is Merm.
Hi everybody, my name is Merm. I use she, they pronouns, and today I'm playing Helga. Oh man, uses she, her pronouns. She's just an old woman, but she's strong as hell. She's ripped as hell, and she's here to have fun and make sure everybody feels like they're strong and they're beautiful and they're amazing, because they are. So.
All right, Keldry.
Hello, my name is Keldry. My pronouns are am, air, or they, them, and I will be playing Lark. Pronouns they or it. And I will be the vet here, sort of hunter, sort of warrior, navigator. I'm here to help.
Yes. Lark, came a little too late to join in on the quest of rescuing the youngsters who went out to get more of the Frostblaze petals, but showed up after and decided to stick around and help. So you have now passed the time that the Jotkundur, the Yule Cat, would normally hunt. There have been less and less sightings of the Yule Cat. It seemed like it stuck around a little longer this year, but then also you only had enough of the blooms to color some thread and have like more like a lace thing around the city. Then you now have everybody be able to wear something. So it is almost time to move on. As much as you have enjoyed drinking with the Jarl and hanging out with everybody in Aska, you are in the Frosty Tankard. And as you are all sitting there and trying to decide where are you going to go next, you know, what kind of bounties are going on, who needs what, an older villager starts to approach. You know her as Astrid, and Astrid has very sharp but softened by age features. She has very warm olive toned skin, kind of carrying the stories of her years that she spent up there braving the cold. You're in the very north, right next to the Thunder Peaks. There's streaks of silver through her dark wavy hair. It's tied back loosely, kind of like, you know, she might have had it neat in the morning, but now it's not really anymore. Her eyes are a deep and thoughtful brown that kind of holds a lot of weight, like past regrets, you know, but warm. She doesn't look jaded. Wrapped in layers of well-worn woolen fur, she carries herself with like a steady confidence. You know that she's a widow and that she has 3 adult children. And she looks like she has walked these lands for a lifetime and survived their harsh lessons. And she kind of comes up to you, but her face is not as warm and friendly as it normally is. It's kind of solemn. She has her hands clasped around something hidden in her palms. And as she stops in front of you guys and you all look up at her, like waiting for her to speak, she takes a deep breath and you can tell she's a little uneasy. And she says, last night I had a vision. I saw a storm raging over a great tea, Vatra, the heart of the land in the peaks. In my dream, Runa stood beneath its boughs, calling out, but no sound reached me. The wind swallowed her voice, and the frost from the mountains crept closer, tightening around the tree like an icy grip. Her face was afraid and full of sorrow. I woke with the weight on my chest, knowing that something's terribly wrong. If the ritual is not performed in time, the tree may wither beneath the frost, and Runa, I fear what may become of her. I know you don't know the tree or you don't know of Runa, but she opens her hand and she's holding like a wood pendant. It's kind of smooth and aged, like a lot of hands have touched it. And it's intricately carved. And she says, this is from the fallen branch of the Vartra tree itself. And you can see like a faint shimmer, especially our witch would definitely be able to see it, like a little shimmer around it, like hoarfrost in the morning sun. And she kind of just rubs it with her thumb, just gently, and she says, I should not have this. I returned it to Runa the day I left her, the day I left my duty behind. This pendant, this token, has always belonged to the protector of the tree. It is meant for the one who keeps Vartra's heart beating through the winters, and yet... You hear this? I found this last night after I woke up from my vision. It was by my bedside. I did not put it there. I do not know how it came to me, but I felt a presence lingering since. Maybe my Filya, the spirit tied to fate and duty, kind of like a spirit guardian. Maybe it has returned this to me, and I cannot ignore what this means. This token and my vision. Vartra is calling me back, and I know I cannot do this alone. And she looks at all of y'all, searching your faces to see if, you think she's absolutely bonkers crazy. And she says, I need help to reach Vartra before it's too late. I will explain more on the way in the morning. Will you come with me? I can't do this by myself. So, and you have never heard her speak that way before. She barely really speaks a lot. She will speak and say hi, but she's not really a talkative person. And she's never been this uneasy. So, there she stands, bringing her hands around the pendant in front of you, having asked for help.
I will gladly be your navigator.
Oh, I know the way, but I do need help because it is a journey. It is a journey of about a week or 2 weeks because it is in the middle of the Thunder Peaks. It's just too much for me to do by myself, especially with how things are going.
Well, I can help with that too, I guess.
At the mention of the Thunder Peaks, I'm assuming Soren is probably in Helga's bag and or covered in a pile of fur still of just blankets. And I think the moat was kind of like, interested. The moat at Thunder Peaks just we have to go to a colder place, don't we? It's gotta be colder, isn't it? Okay.
Would anybody like to roll to see if they know anything about the tree?
Yeah.
I would like to,
Sure.
yes.
All right. So, check what your I would say it's mental.
Is it mental? Could I roll lore?
Lore would be a good one. I would also let performance go because that's kind of related to remembering stuff, or you could just roll mental.
Okay, so if I'm rolling, so if I roll lore, it's just +1, right?
Yes. And if you're rolling mental, it would just be the
And it's 1d10? Wait a minute.
1d10. Yes.
I was like, I have literally nothing in anything you said, but you know what? Why not?
Just roll it. You never know.
Yeah, that 3 is great.
Yeah.
Would nature work for this?
Nature would work too, I think, because you know
Okay.
this is a very special tree.
Yeah, no, I
4.
got it. 2? Lark is very spacey today.
Helga's taking a giant swig of ale and rolls an 11.
Ooh. All right. So, Helga, you would remember the stories that you have heard about Vartra. Vartra is a sacred tree that is connected to 3 Vetir sisters, and not the Vetir like the player race, but the Vetir, the actual original Vetir that the race sprung from. They are nature spirits. They are connected to certain thing, and these 3 sisters are connected to the tree. This tree is connected to spring. It is connected to warmth. It blossoms through the whole year. It never loses its blossoms. Like the tree is eternal spring. And you remember that there was a story that these 3 Vatirs are the ones with the tree, and that the reason that people are able to live in the Thunder Peaks is because this tree makes the area more habitable. That is as much as you remember.
Huh. Well, and absolutely just belches. If you all want to go, I mean, we gotta go. But if you all want to go, I'll definitely follow. But we should go.
Do you share your knowledge of the story?
Mm-hmm.
That would probably make
Yeah.
Soren happy.
Yeah.
So it's not as cold.
No, you can stay in my pouch though for the whole trip. That's fine.
Yes, please. And I think sinks it and actually flips over the top of it, just so you just see eyes again, no.
So an Astrid says, yeah, in my vision there was ice on the tree. There was never ice on the tree before. But yes, the tree keeps the area, the glade around it warmer than normal. And it is connected to the magic in the area.
I
And
think
then
Lark
she
is
says,
slowly getting more and more nervous, and when you said Vetir, they kind of look over and their eyes go from a very dark gray coal to a bright violet, and just wait, what?
yeah. I'm thinking that you would have probably had a little bit of knowledge about these maybe the sisters. They're the three sisters whose name I do have, but I will have to find them. And maybe you have heard of them before, that they live outside, or that they're connected to a tree outside of the hamlet of Vildheim, which is deep into the mountains, and that is about all that you heard about. You don't remember anything about the tree. You just remember that there's some of the original Vetir who you heard, about, because there's not many of the original ones
Yeah, it's
left.
not a lot of the ancient Vetir left. It's more like Lark, other spirits that are further down the descendant line.
Yes. So you would have heard about these sisters that are connected to a tree that are still around. But, you didn't make the connection with this area or anything like that before. It's just, oh yeah, there was this story that,
Yeah, my attention span isn't the best.
well, it's also your, you were kind of busy with other stuff,
That's fair. So we going?
I think that sounds like a yes.
Just hear a muffled yes.
Yeah. We got one last night of drinking with everybody, so I'll be here if you need me.
Just gets like a hand out, like, and just grabs it, like, brings a drink in. Just let me know.
So she will say, all right, then let's meet tomorrow morning here for breakfast and then leave. You need to bring stuff for the harsh weather, and we need to bring rations for at least 2 weeks.
I'll get on that then.
I'm gonna be in the cold for 2 weeks. Okay.
I'll be fine. You'll be with me in my bag, and you know how warm I am. It'll be good.
I do. Just don't toss me next time, okay?
I thought, did I toss you outside of the battle with the pig, or was that during the pig?
During the pig battle.
Then it was warranted. You had to get to the pig. I have to throw you.
You didn't throw me at the pig, you just threw me.
Oh, I guess I did forget that. I won't do that unless I have to throw you at something. Is that a good compromise?
Yeah, that'll work.
Hey, drinks!
And I think you just see little claws out, just like. But yes, we'll help. Whatever preparations we need.
Yeah, I think it's no problem for you guys to find rations. You have a lot of goodwill around town, and you have already, over the weeks, you've gotten all of the winter gear that you need, all of the stuff, because, you've been patrolling, you've been helping. They are making sure you have everything that you need. So you meet with Astrid in the morning, and right. So the three names of the sisters are Vardis, Varun, and Varla. And they are with Vartra, the tree. It's all kind of connected to, a goddess of, that's called Var, but we don't need to get into all the lore on why we choose that. However, so you are heading out. You are at the edge of Aska. It is cold. Not quite as cold as it was over the winter solstice, but it is cold. And as you get ready to go, Astrid just takes a deep breath and says, "Thank you. I will tell you more while we travel. Let's just get going. I feel this urgency." And you guys just start going, and you're trudging through the snow-covered foothills. You're at the bottom of the Thunder peaks. You're a little higher up than most of the others, but you're not really in the peaks yet. You're at the foothills of the peaks, and as you go further and further up, the wind's cutting and it's sharp and cold. You can feel the distant howl of the wind that kind of goes through the mountains, and if you want to be fancy, it sounds kind of mournful, like a mournful song. And as Astrid walks beside you, her pace steady, even though she's older. Her breath forms like small clouds in front of her mouth. And after a longer silence, she starts to speak. And she says, I know you don't know Vartra or the place we're heading to. It's not the kind of thing most people talk about. It's more sometimes a story that you hear. Most people won't know unless they've seen it with their own eyes. But I want you to understand why this matters and why I can't ignore this. And she kind of adjusts the fur around her shoulders, just like fidgeting, giving herself a second. And then she looks at everyone and she says, Vartra's not just any tree. It's ancient, so old that even the oldest stories don't know when it first took root. I don't know either. Even, the people living there don't know. It blooms year-round, pink blossoms, even in the dead of winter, and its roots run deeper than any of the mountain rivers. It is life, in a way. It keeps the balance. The land around it thrives because of it. The forest, the rivers, the creatures that call the mountains home. And for generations, there's always been those who protect it. And she kind of looks down and her voice softens. And she says, I was once one of them in my youth, but I left, and I left behind more than just duty. And she kind of shakes her head as she's kind of like trying to shake it off. And she says, Bruna, I mentioned her yesterday. She's the protector now. And if Vartra is fading, then she's fading with it. The tree is not just some relic. It is woven into the land itself, into the health of the land. If it falls into ruin, the mountains won't die, but they'll suffer. The rivers will run colder, the seasons will stretch too long, the animals will struggle to find their way. The land will heal in time. But those who live there, for Runa, I don't know if there's time to wait. And she kind of grabs like the pendant that's, beneath her furs. And she said, this isn't just a journey to an old tree. It's a race against whatever has begun to unravel the world we took for granted. And I need your help to stop it. There's a ritual that we can do to help the tree. And this pendant is needed for it. And then she just takes a deep breath and stops speaking. So as you make your way, it's a 2-week journey. It is a hard journey. There will be, you have to avoid avalanches. You have to do the climbing. You'll have to, probably be sliding. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have all of y'all make some agility checks, and also anything like perception, nature, or something like that. And then we'll see what you encounter on the way. All right, let's get rolling. First, agility athletics to see if something happens, how do you do? And then we're going to see if you notice things that might be in the way.
Okay, just want to make sure I get this right. So D10, I don't have anything to athletics, so it's just straight.
It's just a straight D10. Only if you're trained within. You can also do agility, probably deftness, if you have anything in it.
Ooh, that's okay. I rolled a 10.
Very good.
5.
Okay. Mermy?
3.
Okay.
I got a natural 9, no additions. We did not do leg day in which school. There was no leg day.
which is never skip leg day.
All right.
My face is in the snow.
And then give me some perception, nature, anything that you would use to make sure everybody stays safe.
Okay. Let's do nature.
As you do that, the path is
Oh,
treacherous.
11.
Very good. With loose stones and icy patches making every step a challenge. The higher you climb, the more the landscape changes. Helga's having an especially hard time, and she keeps slipping and sliding, trying to hold on tightly to Lark or Ava. I said that right? All right. To make sure that she doesn't fall. You know, that might not be good with her old bones. Now give me your rolls.
I rolled a 7.
A 7, and we had an
Yes.
11, right? Lark had
Yeah,
an 11?
10
A 10?
plus 1.
Okay.
11.
And the other two?
5.
Okay.
6.
All right. So the sparse trees give way to bare windswept slopes with nothing but rocks and frost remain. The deeper into the mountain you go, the more the cold seems to press in, biting at your skin and stealing the warmth from your breath. The only signs of life are the occasional hawk soaring high above, or the tracks of a lone mountain goat making its way across the steep slopes. And as you go, Lark keeps actually pointing out all the strange beauty and the harshness of the mountains. Lark is paying extreme attention, and as the peaks loom around you, kind of like ancient guardians, their surfaces etched with the marks of time. Lark actually manages to save Helga and Afi from a couple of spots where they might have fallen, where they might have crashed through an ice thing into a deeper snow pit. Because Lark can see the difference, or is paying enough attention that she notices, or they notice the difference in color in the ground. And the sky is getting more pale, heavy with pale gray, heavy with clouds. The wind is getting louder. It almost rumbles through the mountains. So the further you get into the mountains, it's almost like the earth itself is speaking. And then the land starts to change. The frost is getting heavier. The scent of the air begins to shift. The trees are coming back. There is more stone pines here. The ground beneath your feet becomes more uneven with patches of snow that stretch endlessly in every direction. There's nothing here that doesn't have snow or ice on it. And ahead, the trail leads toward a narrow pass, flanked by steep, icy cliffs where only the most resilient plants and creatures survive. Winter is fierce, pushing against you as you move forward, but the promise of the sacred tree and the secret it holds beckons you onward into the heart of the Thunder Peaks. And because we have had a couple of really, really good rolls, that narrow pass does not really stop you. It slows you down. Lark, making sure everybody knows where to put their feet, while Helga slides all over the place. Soren is having half a heart attack in the little hood.
Yeah, there's definitely like claws, like when something slips, like, and then I imagine, honestly, anytime she slips or Helga slips, she kind of just like jumps out and goes, and like helps Helga up, then jumps back in, like, stop. Like,
Not as young as I used to be. Sue me.
I feel like
I'm
Lark
getting
is doing their best to make sure
whatever.
that Helga is Lark is doing their best to make sure that Helga is okay, and I feel like probably offers Soren their hood and fur coat, because Lark travels and hunts frequently, and would offer Soren the occasional, like, wait, no, maybe come over here for a few seconds. Let me just so that we don't unbalance Helga.
While you're traveling, it's like Astrid is kind of like softening up, and every now and again she'll tell you, about her children or about her traveler husband, and you learn that she has 3 kids. The eldest is Eric, who still lives in the town. Her youngest daughter is called Secret. Sigrid, not secret, but Sigrid. And there's a middle son who is called Hakon. And you actually learn that Hakon always wanted to climb these mountains. She often comes back to this, that, that he had always sworn he would touch the highest peak one day, but he never went. And now he just is in Aska, and he tells his children that he will still do it. And you can tell that she loves them very much, that, but she also on some point says, I wonder if they ever sensed the piece of me that was missing all these years, because she never told them about the tree or that she used to be a protector. And so you keep on journeying, it's cold, even with your the tents and everything. It's not a good journey. Soren, is probably attached to Helga's heat like a tick.
Literally everyone.
Yes. And
Anyone that will put me in a hood, please.
Yeah. So as they get closer to the end of their journey, and they get to more of the heart of the mountain range, of the Thunder Peaks, what they're called. It's like the weather is ever changing. It changes really quickly, and the air is kind of growing a little thinner with each step. And the landscape is kind of harsh. There's still a lot of trees, like the stone pines. It's only stone pines by now, and they're kind of clinging really strongly to all the crevices. And you kind of have your nostrils almost full of the chill of these higher lands and the scent of the pines, and the cold earth is kind of like always inside your nostrils. And you see that Astrid, the closer you get, the more pensive she gets. And as you are like maybe a day or two away, and the wind is like kind of whistling, she kind of walked a little ahead and then put her hands in her cloaks and was really quiet. Nothing about her children, no tales. You guys were exchanging tales and recipes and herbs and talking about everything under the sun to not be bored. And then, without looking back, she starts speaking. And she says, Luna and I were supposed to walk the same path. And she's easy to hear. It carries. The voice carries. And she, lets out a soft breath, and, it's visible in the air again. And she says, when I was young, I trained under your Runa. She was the last true protector before Runa. And she taught us what it meant to guard the sacred tree, to listen to the land, to the Vatir, to feel its pulse beneath our feet. And we grow up in that duty. We were always together, hunting, watching the stars, waiting for the seasons to turn. I thought we would always be together. And she kind of like touches her cloak and touches the pendant. And then he came, my traveler, full of wild stories and dreams, too big for this place, for one place. He looked at me like I was something untethered, someone who could belong anywhere, not just to the tree. And for the first time, I wanted to believe that. And she kind of does this. So I left. I thought I could be free of it all. I thought I could be free of the duty, of the weight. It's not something you run from. And love, well, it doesn't vanish just because you turn your back on it, Because Runa stayed. She carried on. I knew she would. She gave me that token. She carried it, but she gave me that token as a promise, and I left it with her when I left. And now I return carrying it, asking her to trust me once more. I mean, whether she forgives me or not, this time I won't turn away. And then she just keeps walking. She never turns around and looks back at you guys. And you feel like she was talking more to herself than she was talking to you guys.
Lark, for a second, tries to answer and then looks at the others and goes, are we? What's going on?
Sounds like just from the muffles of. Sounds like it was messy. So maybe we'll have drama.
Probably.
Yeah.
If I told you the tiniest little bit of my past,
Oh my god, the row of broken hearts Helga must have left.
it's just everywhere. Except here. It's really nice, actually. So I can just, like, chill. I still want to leave, but, like, chill?
Just a way station.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And I'm thinking Helga will probably keep you guys happy for the next day or two. With all her stories of her conquests and all the crazy drama that happened. And then you finally make it. You approach the small hamlet of Valeif. And, you know, the air is still growing colder, noticeably as you get closer. And it's like the light of the sun feels even paler and like it barely touches the ground. It's quiet. It's simple wooden log houses, darkened by years of wind and snow, and you know they're lining these narrow winding paths as you're high up in the mountains. The roofs of the homes are steep, you know, so the snow doesn't last too long and break them. Their thatched surface is dusted with the ever-present frost. You have not been able to leave the frost behind. Stone pines trees stand sentinel along the village pathways, and their dark needles shivering slightly in the cold breeze. Hello, cat. Hi, what are you trying to do? Hi. A large tree stands in a distant glade past the hamlet. You can see the top of it over the roofs. Its branches, usually adorned with soft pink blossoms, are now heavy with frost. No leaves stir in the wind, and the life that once thrived here is subdued, as if held captive by the icy grip. You smell with smoke in the air and faint sounds of like grinding axes, hammering metal, the normal sounds of villages. And despite it being so beautiful, there's a heaviness here, a sense of worry that, you know, you're not able to shake off. The people of Valeif move with like a quiet resolve. Their eyes heavy with concern. It reminds you of Aska, but less urgent. It's more a deeper dread, filled with a little bit of hope. It's not as something is going to come and eat us, but more of this is really, really wrong. But maybe we can still fix it and restore it. And Esther says, you see, that's where the tree is. That's probably where we'll find Runa. Hi, Timmy.
I just want to be like, I'm going to talk to my brethren, storyteller cat. What information can we glean? No, I'm kidding.
What can you tell me about what is planned?
I think we'll kind of peek out of the furs and everything and just look at Astrid and, well, you know, we would offer to go talk to her. I don't know if she'll believe us, but if it's going to be awkward for you.
There's never been frost on the tree. There should not be frost on the tree. So my vision was right. So however Runa feels about me, we need to fix this. We need to fix this. This is, and we saw that everything is too cold. Everything's too cold on the way. Hi.
I can confirm it is in fact too cold.
Is there anything I could get out of maybe lore or trying to think of
nature? What are you trying to find out?
I was thinking more old stories of what I guess nature works too, just what any indication of like what deeper thing might be wrong here aside from like there was no frost on the tree, there's never been that. Okay, what else is there anything else that feels wrong?
Right. Actually, Ava, roll me lore spellcraft something something. Roll me lore, Lark, because you were not here for the last adventure, and Ava is the one who dug into things. Now, roll me, and give me what you got, and then maybe Storyteller Cat will tell you. Hi, team.
Storyteller cat. Bribe the cat.
I got an 8.
8.
Okay.
Twins.
Okay. So, I would say I think that Lark will know that while the Vetier or the original Vetier, this tree should not. If the tree was always warm and it always had things, something has to be wrong. You would know that the original Vetier would be strong enough that ow, you're distracting me. That this should not be happening. You know something would have to be wrong, and if you would think, you know what, this might be an imbalance.
I feel like there's like a moment as like we're getting further into town where it almost looks like Aoife just walks into a wall for a moment
Mhm.
and just kind of shiver goes down her spine. She just says, "No, something is wrong. Things are not equal. This
Yeah.
is extra."
Yeah. And it would remind you of the way that the magical balance was off around Aska, that had the boar starving and that had the frost blaze not growing where it was supposed to be. So that would remind you of that.
It's similar to the trolls that we ran into, but we'll only know when we get closer. But
Yeah.
All right, I
Can
heard
I-
about that from Helga's stories.
Yeah, the fight
Be
of the
wild.
trolls, where
wild.
they destroyed the glade with the frost blazes and threw over the magical balance, so that the frost blaze did not grow enough close to the village of Aska anymore. And it wasn't even on purpose. It was just trolls. Trolls just fight. Trolls don't hang out together. And I remember you found that skeleton of one of the trolls.
Yeah. Can I check to see if there's any troll markings around?
Absolutely, if you want to do perception,
Yeah.
or anything like that, you can keep an eye out. And I'm going to keep that roll in the back of my mind while you guys keep moving to the.
That's another 11.
Very nice. All right. So, as you guys are talking, you move your way through Vale Leaf, and you come up to Bartra, the tree. Its trunk is wide and gnarled. Its root deep within the earth. It's tied to the very soul of the land. You can like feel the age. And Astrid has told you that this tree would be alive with vibrant pink blossom, radiating warmth and life normally, but now it stands stark against the cold. There's a thick layer of frost that coats like every inch of the bark starting from the ground. And the once vibrant petals are now frozen and brittle. And the wind stirs the frost, creating like a soft, almost the crackling sound that you can hear, almost like when it has really frozen over outside and, the ice kind of crackles and breaks a little bit. And the surrounding ground is barren. There's no sign of the grass, no wildflowers, no fresh leaves, and it's really still.
Being a druid, as much as I hate being freezing cold and wet, I think Soren, once we get close, will jump out of whoever's bag I'm harboring in right now, and just like slowly crawl down the ground. Can I not being invasive. Like I don't want to like dig in the dirt or anything
Yeah.
and ruin anything. But can I kind of see if this seems to be outside taking over the tree or something? Is it coming from the bottom? You know what I mean? Like, is it an external frost type of a thing, or does it seem to be coming from the tree? If there's any way I can try that.
Nature, spellcraft.
Okay. I've got nature. I'll do that. D10 +1. Okay, so I rolled a 7 +1 with nature, so 8. Overall.
Okay. All right. So as you kind of put your paws on the really cold ground, you kind of feel yourself into the ground, and you realize that stillness here almost feels haunting. It feels like the life of the forest and the magic that once thrived around here is fading. And you can't really shake the feeling that something ancient is waiting for something to happen, that something must be done, or that the tree will wither. And it seems that just the frost that would normally cover this, that's normally being held back, has now been able to make its way up the tree. It doesn't feel like controlled. It doesn't feel malicious. It feels like it was held back before, and now it has been able to make its way up this tree.
Okay, so not an outside force on the tree, but it's more the tree is, let's say, tired maybe and can't generate its own magic right now.
That the magic that this tree was normally giving into the environment and taking back from the environment, it just feels like it's fading. And that now that it's fading, the frost that would normally cover everything else that is held back has now started to cover the tree, which has started this cycle of, it's already kind of weak, the frost comes, it's even weaker, and it just seems like spiraling.
We'll definitely share that with the group. Like, it's not, it doesn't feel like this is necessarily attacking the tree in some vicious manner. It's more the tree is tired. Something is not revitalizing its power. And we'll share that with everybody. And then promptly get back into the bag. Yeah, just
Soren,
you know how it is
Soren
when it's stuck
hops
to it.
out, drops age-old wisdom, hops back in bag.
Look, you gotta pick and choose how you spend your energy, okay?
Upon hearing that, Helga just like walks to the tree and like gives it a hug, and it's like, it's okay, you can do this. I believe in you.
As you do that, there's you hear some footsteps crunching through the snow, and you see another person coming from behind the tree, and she is tall and broad-shouldered. She has the presence of like a mountain standing firm against the wind. She has deep brown skin with a glow of warmth even in the cold. And she has tightly coiled black hair that's woven into thick braids, like just small carved beads on it. And some of them seem to be the same wood as the pendant. And she has golden amber eyes that are very intense and pretty sharp. And they're assessing you guys. And she's dressed in layers of tunics with like heavy fur, a fur-lined cloak. But she moves gracefully. She doesn't move bowed down. She's about the same age as Astrid. So they're 50s, about. She still moves with the grace of a warrior and the steadiness that you would expect from a guardian. Every step kind of purposeful. She knows exactly where she's putting her feet. There's no crunching of branches. There's no wobbling, no nothing. She just carries this quiet strength, and she knows this. And she kind of assesses you guys kind of sharply, and then her eyes settle on Astrid.
I'm not gonna lie, there's like my little yellow eyes peeking out. I've been looking at Astrid this whole time. What you gonna do, Astrid?
So,
I've been looking at her.
So, Lark, not knowing how to read people at all, is just gonna go, "Hi, sorry. Nice to meet you. I'm Lark."
And Runa doesn't even look. She just does. And she looks at Astrid and she says, "You should not be here." And then Astrid kind of, you see, she was kind of like, before she was kind of like, "Oh shit." And then, as she hears Runa saying that, she kind of straightens up and she says, "And yet, here I am. The tree needs us."
Just hear a very quiet.
Lark just kind of like does a little like look back at anime eyes, look back and forth, and then looks over at whoever is closest to them and is just like, "I shouldn't have said anything, should I?"
It's okay. Hey, we're gonna let it happen. It's okay.
Pendant, pendant, and she's just like yelling from the firs, like, Astrid, pendant, pendant, throw it at her.
And Astrid is like, she takes out the pendant and says, "I had a vision of the tree covered in ice, and this was next to my bedside the next morning." And Runa is just like, "I was wondering where that went." Well, and she kind of shakes herself, and then she's like, "Oh, hello.
Hi.
I am Runa, the protector of the tree. Nice to make your acquaintance." And she kind of looks at you guys expectantly, like,
Oh, well, hi, I'm Aoife. Magic is my thing, so if seems like you have a great imbalance here, just doesn't feel right.
"Yeah, it's definitely not right. You. Yes." And she kind of looks at Helga, who's probably still hugging the tree. "Yeah. And you never know what will help.
Never know.
You
Never know.
Never know."
She's really warm. They just hear from muffled, like, she's just really warm. It might help. Nope. Okay.
And Runa's like, "Oh, there's another person in your cloak?"
Yes.
Did you? Oh, yeah, Soren.
Just like pops out like enough, because like usually it's just like this much, and just pops out like just one little paw hand. Just hi.
"Well, hello, Soren." And then she turns over and she said, I am sorry I interrupted your introduction. Lark, was it? Nice to meet you, Lark."
Yes, nice to meet you. They kind of Lark is generally, they're not very tall for a Vitir. They're actually not over 5'5". They're not tall for a Vitir at all. They're small, but their hair is weirdly colored that runs from like kind of a greenish blue to an almost purple at times, but usually is less visible. It's just like I feel like right now it's just all of the colors in their hair and eyes and skin that are normally like not like perfectly muted and normal are just kind of like, "Hi, I've got someone looking at me right now and I just screwed up an introduction. Hello."
Yeah. So Runa, you can see that, seeing Astrid there kind of threw her off balance. And it seems like Astrid just got her spine together after, Runa reacted a little, rough. That, she's like, okay, yeah, she might not be happy and she might not have forgiven me for good reason. I'm here for a reason and we're going to do this. So Astrid kind of stands up tall and she says, "They're here to help, and they helped me come here because we need to do the ritual of revival." And Runa's like, "Yeah, I was thinking about that, but then I could not find the token, and without the token, we couldn't do it." So I was looking through all of the books and talking to all of the elders and trying to figure something out. So thank you for coming.
It seems like fate brought you both together, as it were.
And she's like, I guess. Again. However, and then she kind of looks at Asp and says, so, you still remember the ritual? You still remember what you need to get? And Astrid is kind of like bristling, like, absolutely do I remember. How could I forget? just really like, what do you mean? I've been gone for 40 years, but I still remember that, you know? Or 30 years.
Definitely an unfortunate, like, like mumbling, and they're like, the drama.
So she says, we need the snow lily petals, we need the moon root, we need some of the silver waters, and we need to dip the token into the silver waters at moonlight. Yes. However, it's been decades. You will have to be the one to let us or them know where to find them. Because with all of these changes, I probably don't know. And you know, she hates to say this. I don't know where to send them. And Runa kind of gets this little smirk. And she's like, yeah, things have changed. And she will tell you that, you know, you'll have to find and Ava and Lark and Soren, you all would know these things. You would have heard of in different ways of these different plans. There's the moon roads that you would have to dig out, and she will give you a little, you know, she'll probably draw a little map, and you would have to go to a place that she labels as Moonshade Hollow, where you would have to find some moon root. And the snow lily petals, you know, are in a glade, not too far away from there. The silver waters are right around the corner from here. That would be the last thing that you guys would need to do. So Astrid kind of tries to back out of going with you guys. This was really hard on her. She is older. She's been, you know, and she wants to talk to the elders and just reacquaint herself. So she asks you guys to go ahead and, you know, tomorrow, after you guys rested, to travel and find the moon root and the snow lily petals so that you guys can get the ritual done. Because as she has not told you guys, there is actually a time limit on this ritual. It has to be done before a certain holiday. It starts with a D, and I will find that name because I absolutely wrote it down. Because else it would be too late. There would not be enough time for the tree to grow stronger and give its magic back. It would be too late. But the good thing is you guys made good time. Nobody got hurt. Nobody fell into the crevice. So you do have a couple of days more. You have almost a week. It is not super rushy, so you have time to rest. And they don't have an inn here, so you'll just have to stay with different people, different NPCs that definitely have names that I didn't think about.
Bob. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
In the meantime, because I'm assuming we're staying the night here.
Yes.
Soren, of course, to no one's surprise, is just like, who has a fire? Who has an internal place to? I don't care where you put me. Just put me in the corner.
My belly.
That's true. Wraps around. You know how like little kittens will crawl up your pant leg and everything? Like it's just like that. Just like like I don't care where we go. Just take me there.
Yeah. The good news is that everybody has fireplaces on the inside. It is just needed here. Even if the tree has warmth, it does not mean everything is warmer. It's just like the glade is warmer, and everything is more hospitable compared to the rest of the Thunder Peak Mountains. So yes, they all have hearths, and you can probably in most of these older places they would have stones on top of it, and the older people might sit on top of there, so you can probably sleep on top of that and get really nice warm bones overnight. And I'm thinking that during the evening, Astrid is actually telling you about the holiday that's called Disablot, which is a sacred Norse festival that's honoring female spirits, including the Disir, which is like ancestral guardian spirits. And that normally happens at the end of February, the beginning of March. It is basically at the end of winter, and it honors, female spirits, which is, kind of like the Three Sisters. And that is the turning point.
Speaking of which, like, just kind of like, where are they?
So Astrid will say, well, we don't really see them much. They seem to be staying. I have never seen them in actual physical form. They seem to be staying in the roots or inside the tree. And in the winter, we won't hear them. In the winter, they sleep or they hibernate. I'm not quite sure. They never told us this. Just that during the winter, they rest. And then when spring comes, they wake up. And, spring comes, and you can sometimes get them to speak to you at the tree. But they have not woken up. Runa has not heard them. And that is another thing that has her worried. On top of the frost, the sisters have not stirred. And she's afraid that if we don't get the ritual done and get the tree back the way it was, the sisters might not wake up again.
Can you tell us of any dangers we might face getting these things? If there's any common ones.
I'm thinking she would, hand that over to Runa. And Runa would say, it's mostly nature. We don't have any. Trolls have not been here in a while. It's too cold. There's nothing really here for them. We also don't really have much other monsters. I think they don't like being close enough to the tree. But yeah, mostly nature. Sometimes there's some wolves, there's some mountain cats, there's really all of the nature is the most dangerous thing here. You might fall into a hole. You might start an avalanche. You might fall asleep in the cold and never wake up again. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys doing this, because you guys look a lot stronger and a lot more prepared for this than we do.
Sorry, when you said looks a lot stronger, I was literally about to be like, meow. No, I got it. Yep, vicious me.
Well, she was absolutely looking at Helga, but
You just pulled out of my stomach and you're like, meow.
Yep, so ready.
So your hosts feed you some nice warm, hearty stew. You can see the hope in their eyes.
My brethren, tell me of your stories.
My mother isn't
yes.
holding me and he's upset.
How dare you? How dare you?
Me.
So, yeah, I know. You heard the other cat talking, right? How dare I talk to the other cat? And you rest, and in the morning, you make your way out into the snow. Out into the snow, the Thunder Peak Mountains. All right, so as you leave, things between Druin and Acid are still very awkward. They speak with each other, but it's stilted. And you catch them like looking at each other when the other one's not looking. And sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's sadness, and sometimes it's something else that's quite hard, almost nostalgia, almost hope. So you think to yourself, this is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens when we come back. And you move out into the cold, cold forest. All right, navigator, do roll me some nature to see if you can follow the directions and the little map to Moonshade Hollow.
Oh boy. Let's see. I got a 6 total.
All right, so you have a pretty good grasp of which way to go, but you have to sometimes just sidetrack and go around places where stuff has collapsed or the snow is not safe, and it takes you a little longer than you guys thought it would take you to get there. And it's already past noon when you after you're tracked out deeper in the forest, you come to a grove where the trees seem to part, and it's kind of not the haunting stillness, more like a kind of otherworldly stillness. The ground is kind of soft with a thick carpet of moss. There's still frost, but it's not as hard frozen as the rest. And the trees, the storm pines here are ancient. They're not quite as big as the sacred tree, but they're big. Their branches, they're twisted and odd, kind of beautiful shapes. It's almost like, seeing pictures in the clouds. If you looked at the branches too long, you can probably see runes and pictures. The light kind of filters through the canopy above, and it's kind of almost silvery. And in the middle of the hollow is a large stone, and its surface is covered in like faint glowing runes.
Sorry. Can I try doing a spellcraft just to get some vibes out here of
Absolutely
what we might be running into?
Yep. While you do that, the rest of you guys, you kind of feel like the faintest hint of magic, almost like when lightning, thunder and lightning are coming, and you kind of feel the little, on your skin, and your hair kind of goes up a little.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, the hair keeps standing up. It's almost a little bit like electricity, and it feels like, more like a whisper. Right, what'd you roll?
I got an 8.
Okay. With your 8, you would know that these faint glowing runes are runes of preservation and health and protection. You cannot quite tell why they're here on this stone, but somebody a long time ago put them here and imbued them with magic to keep this hollow a safe place. But you don't know quite know why, or there's nothing else that you can tell. But you can see that whoever put it here had good intention. It was for protection and prosperity.
And this is one question I had. As we have been traveling, do we feel that imbalance still?
Yes, it is still colder than it is. It still feels kind of wrong, kind of the same way it felt in the other area. It's still, especially Soren and Lark, you guys would feel that nature is not even, and you would feel the kind of magical imbalance, and Helga is probably like, I am still strong. Nobody can stop me.
Soren, are you good? Are you warm enough?
Just yeah. It's very strained, like
Yeah.
everything feels bad. It's cold, the magic's off, I don't like it.
I don't know
It's
what
a lot
most
of
of that
grumbling.
means, and that's
Mhm.
okay.
It'll be fine, I think.
Who wants
Okay.
to who wants to go look for the moon route?
I will.
Gladly.
All right, you guys start looking around. Roll me some nature checks or perception.
Oh, perfect. Perception.
I have nature. Can I assist Helga? I know it's not exactly a combat mechanic here, but you know.
If you want to assist, absolutely go take a hex, which is
Ooh.
advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll
Um,
just pop around the shoulder, like, look
Okay.
there.
Can I assist Lark?
Okay. Yep.
So
Okay.
I
Okay. Lark, you
roll-
also take a hex, which means advantage. Roll twice and take the higher.
Oh, that's even better. Okay, then 10.
10 and
Oh.
Helga.
Thank you, Eva.
I rolled a 1 and a 2.
All right. So
I assisted so good.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Helga suddenly realizes she's hungry and gets distracted by digging in her pack for a snack.
I'm gonna offer you wood chips for the pines along the way. I mean, Frey said these were good.
Can you just like move a little bit to the right, and then I'll just like kind of dig.
No.
I'm just gonna dig my hand in. It'll be okay. I just need some food, dude. Like,
I warmed this up with my butt.
On the other hand, you have Lark who's looking around going like, this is, you said imbalanced, right, Eva?
Yes. This area luckily is very protected, but oh, and I think she'll be like, Lark, do you see that over there? Is that what we're looking for?
Oh, Lark would immediately, there's this blinking outline, and then Lark is sitting next to the plant and looking it over immediately.
Yeah. So Ava, it's because Ava was looking at the stone before, and at the base of the stone, half hidden in the moss and soft earth, that's where it is, the moon root. The plant itself is kind of delicate, has pale flowers. They almost kind of glow when the light hits them, and like soft and shimmery petals. And as you pull it out, the root is kind of twisted and dark, and it kind of feels otherworldly a little bit, kind of like it has some kind of extra power to it. And it kind of almost feels like once you pull it out, like the entire grove kind of starts humming with some ancient energy. And Lark, for a second, just for a second, you feel like you're not alone, as though there's spirits of the forest that are watching you. Just for a second, Lark, that is what you feel. And you pull out the moon root, and here it is. First item found.
Lark stares at it for a second and then looks around and goes, "Hello?"
Nothing answers. But you do feel still like something was there. Something was watching. Not maliciously, but something was watching.
Usually it's a little louder in my head. Okay. I think this is it. I'm holding out to Aoife.
Yes. And seeing the different essence come off of it, this is rather extraordinary as far as they. And I feel like these wheels begin to turn in Aoife's mind as the stone is protected. We found the moon root in the stone, as though I'm like, okay, there's something else going on under here. And I think she will say to Lark, this was done on purpose. like to do these runes around this kind of a plant, and for the plant to be able to grow the way that it is, this rather intriguing.
Yeah, and you would remember from that spellcraft check that in the lore that you did earlier, that moonroot is really rare, and you have seen it mentioned in some tomes and in some recipes before, but you have never actually seen it in person before, because it will only grow in this area, and like in the cold, higher up mountains, and it's not easily available.
You have a sharp eye. That's good. I wouldn't know a lot about. I guess it's more I don't study magic as much as I hear it.
Everyone has their own way of their approach to things. Some people are able to look at a book, instantly understand, and there you go. But it doesn't make the way that we do things wrong. Honestly, it's an asset. There are things that I've seen I would never be able to comprehend, but working with the shadows the way that I do, even when we feel as though we don't get it like other people, we can still find our way about things. And I think it's rather interesting and amazing that you can hear magic.
Oh, well, I can't always tell if it's magic or spirits or the voices in my head, if that makes sense. I just know that it's how I'm still alive. And it's how I can sometimes manage to talk to other people when normally I am much more at home in the middle of the woods.
That I understand. I would be lying if I didn't say I was getting antsy to leave town. I much prefer the quiet and the solitude. You never know what you'll hear on the wind. It's always a welcome invitation to something. And from what you're describing, whether it's spirits, magic, there's something that's trying to help you. And it's good to listen, as long as it is helping you and you feel as though those things are all a part of us.
Lurk would kind of blink for a few seconds and then smile, and their voice would all of a sudden take on a much lower timbre that sounds almost like a low hum that just go, and they just be like, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now that you have the moon road, you guys, make your way, out of this protected hollow through the snow-laden woods towards what Runa has labeled as the Frosted Glade. And as you make your way through these snow-laden woods, suddenly the air grows even colder, almost biting. And for Soren, that's almost like painful suddenly. And there's a rustle in the underbrush, and as Lark's head kind of swings around the moment that slight noise happens. Out of the underbrush, 3 creatures emerge, snow foxes. But you instantly see that something is terribly wrong. And Soren, not only do you feel like the cold is painful, you also feel like the wrongness, like kind of needles on your skin. The wrongness of what this is. You see these foxes, and their fur that's normally pure white and kind of soft and poofy is matted and frozen in patches. And beneath it, you can see faint, icy blue veins pulse with an unnatural glow. The frost seems to have burrowed deep into their flesh, almost like a magical frostbite. Their movements are kind of jerky and stiff, as if the very cold is working against them, pushing them to act before they're ready. These are not the graceful creatures you'd expect to find in this land, but a twisted, sad version. And as Lark looks closer, she notices that their eyes are unnaturally bright, like icy blue, almost glowing with a predatory intensity. That is not the normal eye color of snow foxes. And they watch you with a keen gaze, and their bodies bristle, and their muscles are tensing as they prepare to strike or retreat. It's clear those are not normal curious foxes. Whatever has changed them, they are now a threat to you guys in this unforgiving landscape.
I think first thing Soren would do is just, you know how cats, when they're like getting mad, they don't growl necessarily, not like dogs, but you know, you hear this low rumble, like, like, you know, gearing up to.
Yeah.
Honestly, Soren gives one of those just as kind of a warning, like, you know, what are they going to decide to do, and try to push them one way or another if they're going to try to get us or if they're going to try to run.
All right. And
I don't know if we have. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So what we're going to do before we see what's going to happen next, we're going to get ready to take our break. And then when we come back, we're going to see what these frostbitten snow foxes are going to do. But until then, let's take a 10-15-minute break. And when we come back, we're going to see if there's going to be a fight or not. So don't leave. Come back. Remember to check out Vildheim on Kickstarter, because I want that world map. And this is an amazing system with such great vibes. So see you in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Bye.
hello. Welcome back to our Vildheim one shot, where our, kind of badass shield maidens are trying to make sure spring actually does come in the Thunder Peak Mountains. They are trying to save Vartra, the sacred tree. And right now, we have found one of the ingredients needed for the ritual. But then they stumbled upon some snow foxes. And something is absolutely not right with these poor things. And Soren just started growling, just deep, deep in their chest. And the foxes, as Lark looks closer, Lark would notice, it looks like that's a family group. Parents and an almost adult kid that, kind of, where their bodies kind of crackle with the ice and those icy blue veins that pulse underneath their skin. And they tense. I'm going to give you guys one thing to do before the decision is made. What happens next?
If I could, I need to blow this up. I can't quite see it. Because I'm blind. Reach into my own creature. The oldest one, if I can tell which one the oldest one is.
Yes.
I would have loved to attempt to terrify it.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell everybody who's watching what Terrify does.
Reach into the mind of one creature you can see within 80 feet that is aware of your presence and cause them to be frightened. Roll mental save. Save can be re-attempted at the end of the creature's subsequent turns.
All right. So I will have to roll a save.
Yes. And I think as far as, because I've already kind of started growling, so we know I'm here. I'm going to utilize the fact that I'm in Helga's bag just to kind of make my yellow eyes pop, basically, and just try to appear a little bit bigger and menacing to see if they'll run away.
Oh, I had the way in cats poof themselves up.
Yeah, and just kind of get the paws started going out with the metal claws on them.
All right. So the oldest one, which looks like the father, rolled a 9.
Can you remind me what I compare that to?
All right. Let me open that up.
I think it's not casting capacity. It's
surprise line of sight. Spell casting. Spell saves. Any spell. Spell save roll that a creature must succeed to resist a character's spell effect is equivalent to 5 plus the character's spiritual modifier. This is a flat value.
8.
Oh, no!
I had 5 plus 3. Dang it.
So
tried.
You can see it had kind of started moving towards you guys, and it kind of stops with 1 foot up. But then it's kind of jerky, and you almost feel like the ice crackles, and it puts its paw down and crouches like it's ready to attack.
As it does that, I drop all of my fur that I wear.
Dang it.
I didn't throw you. There's a difference. I didn't throw you.
It's hard to be intimidating when you drop me on the ground.
It's not just me. I promise. And then I get my hammer ready.
You said we can do one thing.
Yeah, but while you think about what you're doing, Soren, roll me a physical save.
Okay.
Which is the save, a d10 plus the modifier. The physical modifier.
Okay.
Ooh. 3 plus 2.
5. All right, so you kind of did not expect Helga to drop you straight away. So, but you are, because you were already kind of halfway out, you are able to at least land on your paws. You're still kind of tangled in the thing, and it will probably, if we start fighting, you'll need an action to get yourself out of it, but you're not completely covered. You're already halfway out.
Gotcha.
All right.
Trying to be intimidating.
Not again.
All right, Lark, what would you like to do?
I'm knocking an arrow. I want to see if I can get I want to see if I can pin I want to see if I can pin one of them. I want to see if I can pin the largest one in place. I want to see if I can hit it through the leg, which is going to be harder than actually shooting it.
All right, before we do that, would Ava like to do something?
Yes. I think. Yeah, Ava is going to say an incantation and cast Dragon Hide on herself. So you touch a willing creature to help fortify their armor against attacks, granting them +1 bonus to armor for 1 hour. And it can be cast on yourself or other people. I'm casting it on myself because I am very squishy. So I think she's just gets the weapon ready, touches her necklace, whispers an incantation, and these dark veins begin to grow throughout her neck as she's using her powers.
All right, so Lark, as you are ready to do your attack, you will have to give me a D10 plus your ranged attack. But because you're trying to pin it in a very specific small spot, you gotta have to roll that with Bane. So
yeah,
roll
so
twice.
That's roll twice, take the lower.
That's right.
Okay.
That's basically disadvantage.
Yep. Oof. Okay. That is a 3 because I rolled a 6 and then I rolled a 1.
Oh no. What I'm gonna do is I am normally you would need an extra action to reload, but I'm gonna give you that reload anyways. So you will be able to, you know, you don't have to take an extra action next thing. But yeah, as you try to hit, I guess, the father in the paw to try and pin it to the ground, you miss. It flies over the smallest of them and, you know, kind of ruffles its fur and kind of thunks into one of the stone pines behind it. And as that happens, you can see that the second adult, the mother, just bristles. And with that, you guys got to roll me some initiative, which is a D10 plus a mental modifier.
I think instead of reloading, Lark would actually seeing the veins and like seeing Aoife, like the way that Aoife described that spell, and then also remembering the veins on the foxes, would look to Aoife, and remembering Soren with the tree before, would look at both of them and be like, do you think you can find out what might be wrong with them? And I will take that as I won't reload, but I want to be able to ask those two that.
Okay. So as you missed and you then, you know, look over your shoulder, you know, and say, you know, can you figure out what's wrong with them? You know, that is when you guys had to roll for initiative because they are about to attack you.
I got a 2.
All right.
You know, I have no mental. I have no mental either. No, I'm sorry.
Someone did worse than me. I didn't think anyone was going to do worse than me.
I don't have a brain, okay?
I rolled a 2 and I add 1. So I have a 3.
See? There you go.
Hey, I got a 4, so we're
Yay!
Woohoo! And Lark?
I got a 9. It's
Yeah!
8 plus
Yeah.
1.
All right.
Absolutely.
Marty pants.
I only have a +1. I just rolled okay.
Yeah.
We all have a +1, which is hilarious. This fits. This fits. This is great.
this sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually really does.
All right.
I feel like Helga would be last though if it was truly us.
Okay. So
I'm buried in snow, so yeah.
Lark, what is
You're
your
buried in fur. Mine.
what is your mental modifier?
It's 1.
All right. So that means that the mother will go first, and she will try and get to Lark because Lark tried to hurt her kid. So let me see. All right. 8. What is your armor class?
8. Exactly.
All right. Where's my D4? Where's my D4? All right. So one really cool thing about this system is that when you roll for damage, you do not add a modifier, you multiply by the modifier. So as she is trying to bite you, that's a 1 times 3. So you take 3 damage. And
Got it.
so she bites you. And then who is next? All right, 5. 5 is the father. And he was kind of distracted, I guess, by the arrow, and it didn't see that it, went towards the thing, and gonna go towards what he sees as the biggest threat, which is Helga. So he's gonna jump up to Helga and try and claw her. All right. Ooh, that's a 12.
Damn.
Ouch.
I rolled a
Ouch.
9. All right, let's see. That's another. It's 3 damage. I keep
Okay.
rolling ones on the D4s. All right, and actually, I skipped Lark. Sorry. Lark's turn.
Oh, okay.
Oops. So right in front of you is the mother fox that has just bitten you, probably in like the leg, like maybe the calf or something, wherever she could reach. And the father is in front of Helga, and the kid has still, well, it's the young adult, is still pretty much further away, has not gotten involved in the fight yet. Ouch, ouch.
Okay, so this isn't an attack, but I wanted to try to I want to try to grab her by the scruff if I can, because I have my bow in one hand. This is a terrible idea. Don't do this at home, kids.
Yeah. To remind everybody has 2 actions every round, which is not. It's not like some others where you can only cast 1 spell. No, it can be 2 spells. It can be an attack and an action. It can like any kind of thing that you want to do, from taking a healing potion to, grabbing somebody by the scruff, assisting somebody else. But you all have 2 actions. So you are trying to pick up that fox by the scruff.
I think Lark immediately this has gotten too close. Drop the bow and actually reaches to pull out what looks like a very slim pick, but is Helga would recognize as a warhammer. And would grab try to grab the fox by the scruff to try to stop her from going after the others, because I need to. Something is wrong. It is just like something is wrong with them.
Right. Let's see. I would think for that you would have to do athletics or deftness, or physical, to see if you are able to grab that fox so it can't get away from you. And I'm gonna roll a physical save against that, kind of almost like we're grappling.
Okay, so roll. Do you want me to roll physical or athletics?
Pick whatever is better. Whatever you're trained in. If you're not trained in, just just roll a normal check.
I am trained in athletics, but my physical is better. That's a 9.
All right, that is a 5. So you are able to grab that fox behind and pick it up. However, as you do that, she's gonna get the opportunity to attack you, which is an 11, and hurt you while you're doing that. Which is she's actually able to claw you with her back claws, and you take 6 damage.
Oof.
But you now have that fox in a tight grab, and she can't hurt you anymore at this point. All right, and with that, it is Ava's turn.
How hurt are you, Lark?
36 out of 45.
Would you want healing or to focus on something else?
If you have 2 actions, maybe focus on what you want to do first.
Yeah, you guys also have 3 healing potions.
Okay. I think for my first action, can I make a spellcraft check to kind of see if I recognize the magic that's affecting the foxes?
Absolutely.
Basically to see whether is this a lost cause situation or is there a solution that is non-violent.
All right, let's see.
Oh, thank God. All right, that's a 12.
Ooh, nice. Right. So as you kind of trying to feel the magic, as you kind of probably focus on the one that Lark's holding up, I'm thinking that, the black kind of almost pulses a little stronger as you focus. And you feel like the frost is taking hold of them. Like they kind of have a magic frostbite. And you don't think it's a lost cause. You think that there's still a way that, this corruption could be stopped. It seems that they still have a good amount of their free will because they didn't attack straight away. But this frost is making them a lot more aggressive.
Okay. In the area that we're in, is there any kind of broken log or something that could help corral them?
They came out of some brushes. There's probably undergrowth and dropped branches and stuff like that. Am I making what did you roll?
I rolled a 12.
Right. With a 12, which is actually a really, really good roll, you think that getting them warmer might actually help. That finding a way to have them resist the cold or warm them up so the frostbite retreats might help.
In comparison, would healing it affect the frostbite?
You are not 100% sure. It's an option, but you're not.
Okay.
it's something that you think might work, but you don't have 100%. You're not sure.
Okay. I do not have any fire magic myself. I'm all shadows and spookies. So, I think that Aoife will shout out, if anyone is great at briskly making a fire, that might be the best way to not harm these creatures, or else they just need to warm up. Maybe healing will work, but that's 75% chance. And I think she will. Yeah. So if there's any kind of sticks or brush or things,
Mhm.
I'd like to use telekinesis to kind of start gathering them in like a area that will not start a forest fire, but like a controlled fire, just kind of pushing brush and sticks, and more of these veins are starting to crop up as her under her eyes begin to darken.
All right. Absolutely, you can do that. Guys, don't forget to mark your casting capacity. You don't have spell slots, but every time you cast, a spell, you will go down in your casting capability. If I remember right, Soren had 5 and Eva had 6. Also, remember to check in your abilities. Some of them you can only do a certain amount of time before a long rest. Just keep an eye on that. All right, so you guys see, if I kind of pulsing. You've seen that before when she tries to figure something out, and then she lets you guys know that, hey, warmth might help this magical frostbite, healing might help this magical frostbite, and then suddenly you see branches and kindle and stuff flying from all over the place, and she is making a little bit of a pyre. And with that, it is. Let me see. It is the kid's turn. All right. So it is actually. It is the youngest. It is the smallest. It is actually gonna try and go for the smallest because it doesn't know any better, and it sees that Soren is still kind of stuck. So it's gonna run over, and it's gonna go for Soren, and I'm gonna roll that at a hex because Soren is still kind of stuck.
I don't know why. Why?
Unfortunately, yeah. What happened?
Happened.
That's a 12.
I just like rolled around in it.
And it's
Come at me, bro.
right. And I'm sorry.
Okay.
You take 9 damage.
Okay. It's
So
fine.
much.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's the multiplier because you don't. I rolled a 3. I don't do plus 3. It does multiplied by 3.
Oh.
So you'll just go.
Yeah, it kind of bites your exposed paw, and you are unable to stop it. And with that, it's Helga's turn.
Okay, so I hear Aoife be like, "They gotta get warm."
Yeah. And you have the father right in front of you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do what any logical Helga would do, and I run up and I grapple it by hugging it. Yeah. So.
All right, so we're gonna do the same thing we did with Lark. Roll me athletics, deftness, and I'm gonna roll a save.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a 4.
That's a 4.
Mom eats it, beats it. All right, so you throw yourself on top of this father fox, and you just smush it to the ground, into the snow, grabbing onto it, holding it. I'm going to say it because it was so close, it's going to get a chance to hurt you while you do that.
Absolutely.
All right. That is 12 damage. It it is able to claw, bite, and hold on to your forearm, but it is stuck. It can now not hurt you anymore. Two of them are now unable to attack. And with that is Soren's turn.
Alrighty. So, question, storyteller. I've been attacked out of the first, yes or no? Or do I need to spend an action still to get out of it? What's my immediate surrounding?
Well, you know what? I'm thinking because it was able to hurt you, you probably were able to react and get out. So yeah.
Okay, so I have 2 actions. Okay. So as much as I imagine Soren's eyes have done the cat thing of just like going full dilated. Okay, so let me just real quick think. I have plans, but they're all everywhere. So Lark has one of them. Not Freya. Helga, thank you. Has the other, and then the third one is on me.
Yes, the third one is right in front of you.
The child.
The child.
The young adult, yeah. It's not a baby. It's almost an adult.
The child of at least these 2. You tell me vibe-wise how we're going here. So I would actually like to attempt to use movement, and this might be an action, to basically intimidate the younger one away from me towards the kindling. So kind of like a herding dog, if you will.
Okay.
Try to move it a little bit.
Okay, yeah, so that would be intimidation.
Okay.
So if you roll me intimidation, you can combine that with movement. I would say you stalking yourself towards the kit.
Damn it, of course I picked that one. That's fine. All right, I can do it. We can do this. Dice, you love me. Dice, you hate me. A 5. I tried, and I add nothing, unfortunately.
So I am thinking that you're able to do it, but only like half of the way. You're not able. It's like out of reflex, it backs up, but you can't get it quite where you want it to go.
Okay, if we're at least we're a little closer, I'll kind of try to communicate a little with my eyes to everybody that I'm trying to basically, I'm on all fours, by the way, just metal claws out and everything, trying to move it back a little bit. And while it's got its eyes focused on me, I'm going to look at the kindling and cast Firebolt on it. So I'm kind of moving around and moving my hands a little bit, working to get Firebolt on there to light that up. So Firebolt, conjure a mote of fire in your hand and hurl it at one creature of your choosing, dealing 1d4 fire damage. I mean, it's kindling. I don't know if you want to roll damage, but...
No, you don't need to roll damage because Ava made a pretty good pile.
Yeah.
So, and it's not trying to get away from you.
The kindling got up and ran away. No. I will light that on fire to give us some assistance here.
All right. So you guys see, Soren stalking and pushing the kid closer to all of y'all, and then just doing a little, and the paw, a mote of fire, and the kindling goes up. And, there's warmth. All right. And now what we're going to do next is the mother. The mother's going to try and wriggle out.
Am I?
Nope.
What am I rolling?
You don't even need to roll nothing. That is, nope. That's no. That is not even worth it. And with that, it's Lark's turn. So the fox that you're holding was wiggling, but that was it. It could not even get close to shaking off your hands. Now there's a fire in the middle of the clearing.
Going to quickly assess the situation, and we're going to we're going to go and see if we can grab the uh the fox that Soren has. We're just gonna drop all the weapons and we're gonna get these guys over by the fire.
Right. So because you already have one strong fox in your dominant hand, if you try to grab the other fox at the same time, that's going to be at a bane. You're not going to have as good of a chance to grab that. But you can always just try and get closer to the fire with the one you already have first. You do have 2 actions, and movement is just 1.
Okay. I'll trust my teammates on that. I just don't want it to hurt Soren. I'll keep an eye on it, but I'll try to get the wriggling mother over to the fire to try to be like, no, okay. This like, nope. Just, I know I'm not gonna stick you in the fire. Just hold still, okay, please. And I'm going to actually try to. Lark is kind of getting frustrated as people have gotten hurt and is going to glare, and I want to try to just. I know that this isn't the fox. There's something else here, so I don't know what I'm trying to intimidate, I guess, but it's more I know it's like I know something is wrong.
Right. So as you get closer to the fire and you hold the fox close to the fire, it still fights you. And you realize that slowly as it's close to the fire, it seems like a little bit of the frost moves back and the blue veins get not as bright. But you also realize you have to stay where you are to and keep it in the warmth. It's not going to be fast to retreat, but it seems like the warmth of the fire is helping to make the frostbite retreat. So are you going to use intimidation on who exactly? The kitten? The kid? Not the kitten. There's no kitten here. Or what are you trying to do? Or are you just trying to speed up the frostbite going away?
I am trying to speed up the frostbite go away, but I don't. Lark doesn't know how to use spells.
Right. So I would think that would be spiritual.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, you know what? Maybe nature. Go ahead and use nature and see if you're just able to kind of focus and maybe figure out the best spot to hold the thing to get the frost to go faster. What is the closest wood? How close do you have to be to the fire? Which way should you turn it? Kind of like that. Instead of making it a magical fight between you and the frostbite, maybe use your hunter nature senses to try and help speed this along.
I have spiritual and nature for me are the same. They're both one.
Well, because for the skill, you wouldn't use the spiritual modifier. You would only use your ability modifier. For the save, you would use the overall. It's like it's the way it is. You will only use the modifier of the ability that you actually have, or in a save, you will use the overall modifier. You won't use the spiritual one for a skill check.
Okay. All right. That is an 8 total.
Right. So with an 8, I would think you figure out how close you can get to the fire without anything burning, and that if you turn the body of the fox to where the edges of the frostbite are, it moves faster. But you still will have to stay in in this spot to make sure that the warmth keeps going and it's not gonna stop retreating. That was a bad sentence. All right. With that, the next one is the father. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Nope. That's a 1. We don't even need to. Helga's on top of that. That is absolutely no way that with a 1 that it can shake it itself
You can't
loose.
escape this hug.
No, and it's still kind of, and it can't really bite again because you're on top of it. It bit you in the forearm, and it can't, because you're on top of it. It can't open its mouth and even let go, so it can't even hurt you anymore. It's already stuck. And with that, it's Ava's turn. Okay, so you would have seen that Lark is holding it, and you would see her like adjusting the fox.
Them.
And you would, and you would feel the frost just retreating slowly.
So seeing them be able to like help the fox, I'm going to look towards, because it seems like the younger one is the one that we're going to have some troubles with. Oh god. I wonder, I don't, this isn't necessarily how the spell is supposed to be used.
Yeah.
Because telekinesis usually is for an object.
Mm-hmm.
Could I use it possibly on the fox, or could I use something to help usher the fox towards the warmth, potentially, if I can't grab the fox?
Okay. I would think since it is not made to be used with like living things, I would think you could try, but I would put a bane on it.
Okay.
But also, you guys are a little further, and let's say the fire is in the front, but because Soren got dropped on the floor behind Helga, and Helga went forward to grab the thing, the kid almost has its back to you. So it is like halfway between where you guys are and where Soren dropped into the snow after Helga dropped all her furs.
Okay. Then could I... I'm gonna try and... I see that the creature's back is to me, so I think I would position myself so at least it can see me. And then hopefully to have it run towards the fire.
Yeah.
I'm going to make myself scarier than the fire. I would like to use Terrify.
All right. Okay, I'm guessing it has to roll a save.
Yes, so that is a mental save.
All right. And this is a 4.
That fails. My save is 8.
All right, what happens?
So it is almost like this, her face contorts, where all that shows is almost like a dark skull overlay, with shadows making her cheekbones look incredibly gaunt. And she almost looks like in how mythology would describe what a banshee looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And there is just this almost ear-piercing scream that this fox hears, and it is just all-encompassing.
Right. So, yeah, as you do that and that scream happens, I think the ears kind of, move, and that kid just backs it up. And it backs it up until I think it bumps into Helga and kind of, with his butt, kind of just keeps pushing away, and it's now gotten pretty close to the fire.
And I'll just use my remaining action. If Soren would be okay with it, I would like to pick them up to make them closer to everybody. So we're basically like trying to usher them towards the location.
Uppies.
Yes, absolutely. I will give Soren uppies.
With my metal claws.
Uppies.
I honestly more imagine it. You just keep going. I'm trying to be intimidating.
All right. So, let me see. Nope, that is too bad. All right. So the kit is actually too terrified to move. It has itself like flattened and looking around and kind of cannot make up its mind what it is going to do, because there's somebody on top of the father. The mother is dangling in the air, and there's this crazy scary thing in front of it, and it's just frozen. And with that, it's Helga's turn.
All right, keeping up the hug action. But I want to see if I can. Okay, so is the kit between me, the dad, and the fire?
Yes, it backed up into you and then just pushed further backwards.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to push to get closer to the fire, which in turn will just move the kid as well, because that is the, like, it's like
Yeah.
the least amount of like movement necessary to get closer to the fire.
All right. So roll me some athletics,
Okay, athletics.
because that is an interesting wrestling move of you trying to move while that fox is attached to your forearm, and you're trying to make sure.
My thought is I like grapple it and then I fall backwards and then I start using my legs to push back.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. Exactly, like holding on and then going backwards.
like
Okay,
scooch.
so athletics. Okay, come on, big money. Medium money. That's a 5.
All right. With a 5, I think you are able to do that. You're able to like wiggle, but I'm thinking you're going to take another 3 damage, because as you're moving and that the teeth are still in your forearm, you're going to hurt yourself more. But and as you get closer to the kid, it must probably automatically be backing up further.
Okay, awesome. And then for my second action, I want to give a tighter squeeze.
Okay. Absolutely. You can. Are you trying to hurt it, or are you just?
I'm just trying to hold it.
Yeah.
Like firmer. I'm trying to like kind of like readjust my grip to make sure that like I can keep it for as long as possible.
So I'm thinking you can absolutely do that, and that will actually make. I will actually put a bane on it, trying to get free.
Nice.
Because you were able to like position yourself just and make sure it can't move. All right. So with that, it's Soren's turn.
Okay. So I'm assuming right now I'm in the clutches of Aoife, just like, and so just for my own, theater of the mind, the kit is the closest to the fire, correct?
The kit is you have Lark standing right next to the fire with the mother. The kit is gotten pretty close to the fire, but not quite close enough yet. But it is, and then the next is Helga with the father. I would say that the kit is probably about 5 to 10 feet, while Helga is more like 15 to 20 feet away from the fire.
Gotcha.
So and tell him.
My kitten, tell me. So what I'll tell you what I'm going to try to do, and then we'll figure out logistics. So I have the ability, essentially what I'm going to do here, my first action, I'll do it this way. As the kit is backing up closer to the fire, once it gets what I think is close enough to start melting away things, I want to cast shackles on it. So for FYI, they can roll physical save. Conjure shackles that erupt from the ground to hold a creature in place. The creature is considered grabbed. The save can be reattempted at the end of the creature's subsequent turns. So while I'm being held and hopefully utilizing the help of the scariness. Literally, I think that's actually what happens is like my metal claws kind of go like erupt a little bit with the earth a little bit, coming up to kind of grab and hold on and probably use like sharp rocks basically to hold it in place. And then I crunch down and it tries to latch onto the kid and keep it close to the fire. Just, a nice little, like, the Thunder Buddy hug. It's fine. Those things they get for dogs.
Yeah. It rolled a 6.
I think mine an 8, right? I finally did something. Woo! All right. So we'll hold that in place, trying to keep it to warm up. And I'll say to everybody else, if you get them closer, if you don't want to hold them anymore, I can do that, and we can try to wait it out. I've got one more in the chamber if we want it. So
yeah, it is not close enough, and you can actually see that the frost is slowly moving it back. And now that you have all of them basically shut down, I'm going to take us out of initiative. You guys are going to be able to do this, and it just takes you a little bit of time until the frostbite is gone enough, and you think that you're able to let them go. So and as that happens, they kind of get together, like they huddle together, and then they kind of dart into the brush. You can see, their eye color went back to their normal eye color. The patches of frost are gone. The fur is still kind of matted, that that doesn't go away, but the blue veins are gone, and the kit kind of lingers a little more, like briefly, than the others, kind of looking at Soren and the others, and then it also disappears into the trees.
Would Soren and Aoife have any time to try to figure out what that was?
You can definitely do, because this is some kind of frostbite. You're not quite sure how it happened. You just know it's not a malicious spell. It seems to have to do with the imbalance of the magic, and Lark would probably kind of feel like it's almost like a virus. It feels more like a sickness than anything else.
Being Wildkin.
There's no way that Lark would have wanted to kill them. It's especially if there's a way to fix that.
Yep.
Being Wildkin and a druid on top of that, is there any way I could basically kind of sniff around where they were? Like one of my ancestor traits is being able to use scent for things. Just kind of glean, not necessarily, I'm not sure exactly what I'm trying to ask here, but it's just as far as the imbalance of the frostbite that was going after them, anything about the nature of it other than just the fire was helping, just something about them.
You can definitely keep your eyes open on when you continue to the frosted glade, but it's kind of hard to tell where they've been and where they haven't been.
Okay. Or just anything about their nature being altered. And in fact, I'll change it to this. As we're making our way to go to the, I'm assuming, snow lily petals next.
Yeah.
If I can basically kind of remember their scent and remember if it was off, and use that to keep an eye out as we're going to see, what else has it affected.
You would have definitely gotten a good whiff of them, and they did smell like bloody frost.
Okay.
So you would definitely be able to notice that smell again, and you'll definitely be able to let the villagers know how they can help if this happens to any other animals.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I will very distinctly get into Lark's pack.
With the side glance
Just like on
of,
the shoulder, like,
making sure Helga's watching.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong.
And I think there's even like, you know, cats when they get mad, or like rabbits especially, they'll thump a little bit. It's like your furs get a good like, you're right.
Lark just looks confused. Lark is oblivious. Lark has like no idea what's going on. It's like, oh yeah, I got a friend. It has no idea what actually is going on.
Just like, you know, cats get mad, they get a little ball, and there's like,
Oh, how do maybe we should patch up a little before we go running into the next.
Yeah, you guys can definitely do healing, and let me remind myself. There's also a way to use medicine.
I have medicine, but I don't have magic.
All right. Let me remind myself. You can use medicine. You can attempt to heal wounds and gashes without spells or potions. Poison out of combat, blah, blah, blah. So in combat, you can use a full action to attempt a singular medicine check on another character who's dying. But that gives them like bigger chances to their dex death saves. Let's see. And then you can also use the healing potions. I would think that if you use medicine and you have a successful medicine skill check, that you are able to do a D4 times your medicine training value in hit points. It's what I'm thinking. I don't have it here. We don't really have all the rules yet. We only have the quick start. So we're going to make this up.
heck yeah.
So
I would like to attempt to.
I
Okay.
will
But my
attempt
medicine is zero.
medicine. I will. I think Lark, instead of trying on themselves first, would actually. Helga, I have some herbs and supplies for medicine. Do you want me to wrap that up?
Yeah, it's bloody.
Drip.
Okay. Lark looks kind of mortified, but is like, uh-huh.
Yeah. IRL Merm had a bloody forearm once and high-fived somebody, and it was disgusting.
Okay. 7? I forget. I don't know what 7 is.
All right. I would think a 7 is well enough to do a D4 times your medicine thing, which should be 1. So 1D4.
So
You roll a D4, and that's how many hit points Helga gets back.
2.
Okay.
I am sorry.
Nice. You're fine.
I rolled a 6 on my medicine.
Okay. I would think as long as it's over 5, you succeed.
Okay.
So a D4.
I'll take it.
I can heal Lark. I have the heal spell. I can cast it up to 2 times a day.
Okay.
And that will put me at 2 spells left. Oh, we're in greater physical transformations now. Yeah. So Aoife will approach them, and they will just say, "Would you look as though you've been injured? I can help, but I don't want to do anything without permission."
Oh, sure.
And then she will cast heal on them. So you get to heal a D4 plus my spirit. So that is 5 HP.
Oh, wow.
And since I'm down to 2 spells, as they regain the hit points, you see that similar to the terrifying image, Aoife's face now looks incredibly gaunt and withered.
Aoife, are you okay?
And there's almost a moment where she just takes a second. I'm fine. This is just the trade-off to being able to do what I can. I wouldn't mind a rest after all this is over, though.
Mm, So, with the way that you guys have been, kind of patching yourself up, Lark leads you towards what Runa has marked as the Frosted Glade, and it's a clearing in the storm pines, and it seems kind of quiet and settled there. The wind is not blowing as strong, and the trees around you are tall and dark, and their benches are heavy with snow and ice, and it's like the ground is covered with a thin layer of frost. And you would notice that the plants that normally would thrive here are withered or buried beneath the snow. But in a more protected area where a couple of trees have fallen and kind of crossed over each other, you see a patch of delicate flowers, the snow lilies. They look fragile and fleeting, almost like a memory of the summer trapped in the depths of winter. But you would know that they're actually pretty hardy. And even very harsh colds cannot get rid of them. So you're able to get those, no problem, and make your way back to the sacred tree. So as you make your way back, you come upon Runa and Astrid. They're already by the tree waiting for you. It is starting to get darker. And as you come in, Astrid says, "Oh, good that you're here. We will need to have the pendant into the water, into the silver water under the moonlight. So that is very good. But you guys look a little hurt. Maybe take a small rest, and then I will let you know what we're gonna do. So you guys can take a couple of minutes, get yourself organized." And Astrid comes and sits with you guys. They probably have a couple of like logs and stones where they would sit for the rituals or something like that. And she will say, "Right, Runa and I have figured out how to do this the best way. I have a couple of things that I need you guys to do." So she will look at Lark and she said, "Lark, I need you to be the eyes of this ritual." And you could see how her face just get more serious, and she falls into this leader role, and she says, "The tree is vast and its energies seem to fade and be delicate. I need you to search for the weakest part of the tree, where the frost has taken the deepest hold. I need you to look for cracks or darkened bark or any area where you think the magic seems the most trapped is the weakness. And once you find it, you need to guide us where we will apply the paste that we're going to make carefully. And just trust your instinct. I trust you. You know nature better than anyone here."
Wouldn't that be Soren, though?
Well, I actually have a different thing to do for Soren. I know your perception is very great, and I have a feeling that you have a close connection to the spirits of the forest. Soren, you'll be the one to create the paste, the key to unlocking the magic of the tree. I need you to take the moon root and crush it with the silvered waters that we're going to get, and some soil from Watcher's fruits. I need you to focus all of your energy on the balance of the ingredients. Too much or one of the other will make the paste unstable. Once it's ready, I will need you to apply it to the area that Lark has picked out. But leave a little bit of a small amount for me to use, okay?
I think once Soren hits that, the claws should go, "I get to go digging dirt."
And then Astrid is looking over to Eva and says, "Your connection to the arcane will help focus the magic in the silver waters." And she looks you straight in the eye and says, "You need to take the snow lily petals, immerse them carefully in the silver waters, allowing their essence to infuse into the water in the basin. And we need the waters to shimmer with the strength of this land's magic. Once you've done that, I need you to pour the waters into a circle around the tree during the ritual. and the circle will form the boundary for the magic, ensuring it stays focused. And then she turns to Helga and she says, Helga, for you, I have 2 things to do. I need you to go with Runa to the Silvered Waters. They're not very far from here. We need enough water for the basin and the paste, but you also, I want you to watch over Runa while she submerges the pendant under the moonlight. And once we start the ritual, I need you to stay vigilant. It's a delicate thing, and we will be vulnerable while we perform it. We need someone to guard the perimeter, ensure nothing interferes with the process. You got to keep an eye out for any threats, creatures, natural disturbances, or the mountain itself, whatever. Also, if anything goes wrong, we'll need to know immediately. There may also be villagers or friends, basically, who do not understand what we're doing. They might get scared. They might fear that we're making it worse, or even desperate. And you must be our shield. You must stop them. You got to keep watch, and if anyone or anything tries to interfere, be it from fear or misunderstanding or just nature being a butt, you need to hold them back. The success of this ritual depends on our focus. And as she has given each of you your tasks to do, you actually see her walking over to Runa, and they're having a very low conversation. Are we trying to listen?
Yes. Oh, I'm a star.
So
My little cat ears just.
yeah, I can see the
Everyone
ears
else is
going.
trying. Everyone else is trying to listen. I feel like the only reason Lark leans in that direction is because maybe Soren moved in that direction, and Lark is just kind of like, "Oh wait, what?"
Oh,
Just have the nails in, like.
Yeah, yeah,
so
just
so they
it's
both kind of
making me lean
have
over.
their back to you, so you don't see that, but you see that Astrid is holding the pendant and is looking and says, Runa, do you ever regret it, giving everything to keep the tree safe? I should have been with you. I shouldn't have left. And she's like giving her the pendant, and Runa's not actually looking at her. Runa is just fixed on the tree, but when she speaks, her voice is a lot softer than it was before. Doesn't have that sharp edge. And she says, I never wanted you to stay out of duty. I wanted you to be free, Astrid, to choose your own path. And then she kind of takes a break and a breath, and she says, but I missed you. The tree missed you. And you can see Astrid kind of like trying not to cry. You know, her eyes are kind of like glazing over. And she said, I thought I was doing the right thing by leaving, but I always carried that regret. I wanted to be the one standing by you at the tree. And then Runa finally turns around and she looks at her, and her eyes are kind of really full of sadness and sorrow, but they're also kind of fierce. Like she cares, like full of affection. And she says, we're together now, in this moment, and that's all that matters. And now you really got to move because Runa is looking into your direction.
We're walking together. So let's go.
So
The dirt over there.
So Runa got the pendant, and you know, she kind of does the, all right, Helga, let's go. And so you guys are it's not that far.
Wait, on the way.
Yes.
On the way?
Yeah.
Turn to Runa. Like, I don't remember the last time I saw Astrid's husband, if I'm being completely honest, okay?
He's
I'm
dead.
rooting for you, okay?
He's dead. She's a
Well,
widow.
That's probably why I haven't seen him.
Oh,
You hope not. Good God, zombie came back.
Well, so why don't you make a move? Hello?
And Runa's like, well, first we gotta finish this ritual.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did hear that her husband passed away.
Yeah. So it's like they we all saw it. I saw it. I saw it for surezies. Maybe I should saw it too. I don't know. I'm 70. I've lived my life. I don't give a shit. I want you to be happy. You got years left in your life. Live it with Astrid. Who gives a shit? Anyway, let's go do the thing.
All right. So, as you give her this pep talk, you guys you're following an old stone path that leads from the glade of the sacred tree, and you find your way to a hidden stream. And the water here is unlike any Helga has ever seen. Its surface shimmers with like a soft silver glow, like liquid moonlight. It flows gently through the forest, sounds soothing melodic ripple that contrasts with the harsh first of the land. The banks are lined with smooth stones. There's a little bit of frost creeping in, but not too much yet. But be careful, they're slick. And the air's colder here, the moisture from the water causing frost to cling to some of the trees and the rocks. And as Aruna kneels and gathers the water and dips the pendant in, you can feel like a strange energy pulse from the stream as the moonlight is hitting it and the pendant is in there. And you feel like the silvered waters seem to carry the magic of the land itself. Even though you're not a very spelly, sensitive person, you feel that this is a place of great importance, kind of sacred almost, so...
Yeah, Helga says to herself, wow, if I feel it, I can't imagine what other people feel. Wow, that is cool.
So Runa has filled like a big kind of, what's that called? A water sack full of the silvered waters. And the pendant is almost kind of the same kind of moonlight shimmery that the water was. And you guys make your way back. As they do that, Lark is going to have to go check out the tree. And the others are, gonna wait until the water is coming. But Lark, so she has asked you to go and check out the tree and figure out where the best place to apply this magic paste is. And I imagine that, as you step forward, your eyes kind of narrow as you're trying to get a feel for the tree, and the frost on the surface kind of shimmers in the moonlight, and you kind of feel the magic in the air. And I mean, it's a super tall tree, but the branches kind of droop onto the frozen grip of the winter, of the frost. Okay, and as you crouch and your fingers brush the bark, searching for a sign or a crack, roll me a nature check.
Before I do that, can I kind of look over... Sorry, can I kind of look over to Soren and be like, I gotta, is Aoife normally like that? With the, like, motioning to the like, face with the veins?
Short answer, yes. Long answer, our magics aren't exactly the same. Mine deal more with natural, like, motions around to everything. Kind of asking nature to help me out a little bit. Mine I'm not necessarily born with, so it doesn't drain me as much as it, like, hers drains hers, if that makes any sense. It's not based on my internal ability. I just beg a lot and try. So mine doesn't use my life force in any way that way.
I will be careful then about asking for help next time.
Oh.
Thanks.
Yeah, no. Aoife's very kind and is very giving, but she knows herself well. She won't push it too far.
Well, you're better at people than me.
Do I use it appropriately? I did try to push a kid towards a monster because he was dumb enough to walk towards it. It's fine. Yeah, she'll let you know if she needs to not do it. And I think there's like a mischievous look on Soren's face, like I should have pushed my kid.
Hey, Mary. Mary, you vanished for a second.
Yeah.
Please
Yes,
don't hide
I
from
just
us.
got it reconnected. Hold on.
No, don't hide
no.
from us.
There we go.
We're talking. We're
Okay, we're back.
we were
It's the
talking.
magic, the
we were
magic,
talking
magic,
about
it's
Aoife
over.
and Aoife disappear.
We're magic. We're No, I'm just kidding.
The magic was like, I know myself. What are you, saying here?
I'm perfect.
What do you do?
Yeah, I think since Sword's just kind of waiting, probably on top of your shoulders, just like, yeah, I should have pushed that kid.
Lark is just kind of like not entirely sure what the appropriate response is. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how people work, so I'm just gonna smile and nod. I just imagine Soren, yeah, I should have pushed that kid. Lark, who has no idea what that actually would have done, smiles and nods.
And I think because Soren's weapon, if you will, is just metal things that go on our fingers, and if you have anything maybe your the tops of your arrows with the feathers just goes just we're waiting, that's fine.
Yeah,
just
that
wistfully looks off.
Right. So as you doing that, you are checking over the tree. Roll me a nature check.
Since I'm on Lark's shoulders, can I help a little bit?
Yes, do
nature-based.
me a nature check and let's see how well you do.
okay.
No, Soren.
Sick.
Oh, sorry.
wait.
Yeah. To help you out, I absolutely can.
Dice love me, please.
Hey, 10 plus 1, baby, 11.
All right, absolutely. She will Soren give Lark a hex, so you can roll twice.
No, not there. Look over there.
Like
Just hits the feathers on your.
It's like don't get distracted by me. Pay attention.
Hits all the arrow feathers.
Focus.
8.
8.
8.
All right. So as you're doing that, you look from top to bottom, and you spot at the base of near the base of the tree a patch of bark where the frost is thick and unnaturally dark, as if the life within the tree has struggled to push through. And as you reach for it, you feel a slight shift in the air as the magic within the tree responds faintly to your touch. You think that's the spot. That's the spot. And as you find it, Helga and Runa actually make it back and bring the silver waters to Soren and Aoife. So Soren, you get off of Lark's shoulder, and you have like a little stone bowl with a little pestle. And as you kind of sit behind that good tree with the thing in your paw, your hands move with like a practiced precision. You've done this before. You're a druid. You know how to make pastes and medicines.
I'm not gonna lie. The moment though you told Soren they had to make paste, they're like, I don't need the mortar and pestle. Just making biscuits aggressively.
Yeah. So you just know that you actually have to crush the moon root to get the magic to come out. The mixing you can absolutely do after. So you do a little bit of the crushing.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's total back foot, cats when they're playing with something, and the back foot's like it's
Aww.
Maybe you cat over here.
Maybe you make the little noise.
Yeah, and
because next comes the digging for the soil. So as the moon root is kind of crushed, it releases like a pungent scent. You drop the pestle, and it's time to get some soil to mix.
Just the claws out, the eyes are totally open, like I get to dig in dirt, and just goes down. They're probably like, no, that's too. We don't need that much.
But you're trying to find the right patch of soil and the right, maybe you have to go a little deeper to find the right.
You might have to test a few spots.
Yeah. So as you have the soil, you add that to the paste, and then you have to add just a little bit of the silver water. Roll me what you want to use: nature, spellcraft, medicine.
Sure.
What you think to see if, because you have to get by feel. You have to get the ratios right, and you are trying to imbue it with your energy.
I will do spellcraft for that one.
Okay.
Like, in fact, I think as a druid, I get to touch nature kind of thing, and I was like, like it's feeding into wild kid and nature, or a druid.
Please be good to me.
Wasn't good. It's a 1 + 1 + 2.
Oh no.
Oops. Why don't you love me? All right, sorry. Go ahead.
So as you're mixing it, something feels off. You realize you put too much soil in this.
More what? No, I'm just kidding.
It doesn't feel right. Roll me like perception, deftness, to see if you can figure it out in time to fix it.
Yes. I'm going to utilize my nose. Not that it helps me too much here, but
Yeah, by the
perception,
scent you would
said?
definitely tell. Yeah, perception. You would be able to tell if the smell is off.
I don't add anything, but please be good to me. 7.
All right. As you realize that, you're like, oh, and you kind of just use your claws to like scoop part of the soil you haven't mixed in, like.
No one saw anything. It's fine.
And then you just keep going, and the smell is better. The smell makes sense now, and the mixture forms a thick, earthy paste. Its color a deep, rich brown with specks of like silver glimmering in the light. And as you doing that, Aoife, you stand beside a silver basin. You have the water, you have the snow lily petals, and it's time for you put the water in there, and you carefully lift each of these delicate petals and placing it in the basin of the silver water, and the liquid kind of is rippling as the petal sings, and it's like their vibrant white color is like a stark contrast kind of to the rest of what you see. And then with your practice at this, you've done this before, it's like you start like chanting softly. Your veins kind of grow darker again, and you kind of invoke like your ancient kind of powers. And I'm thinking the water swirl, the petals stir, the magic begins to hum with potential. It's your fingers kind of dance across the surface of the water with kind of shadows, kind of weaving it into a smell. And then as the last of the snow lily petals are added, so you draw a deep breath and you feel the pulse of the ritual in your chest. What do you add from your stash to enhance the magic of the mixture? And how do you finish this to make sure it's the strongest it can be?
I think it would be a very personal item of hers. She pulls out of her, she has like a hip purse, and she'll pull out, and it looks like a bunch of different herbs that have been woven together, but you can tell that it's very handmade. And she is going to kiss it, and just knowing that someday she will be reunited with the person that made this. And because to her, she does not feel balanced, but she knows someone who was. And so she will put this braided herbs into the basin, just as a giving that part to hopefully call on a spirit to help.
All right, do roll me a spellcraft check.
All right. That is an 8.
All right, so the water kind of begins to sparkle, and the petals like swirl faster as it's kind of taking shape. And as it's strongest, you kind of look up from the basin and with a serious but determined expression, kind of with a little bit of pride, you say, "It is ready." And at that, Astrid says, "All right, time to apply the paste." And Lark is, over there. How does Lark show Soren where to apply? What does she say? How does she show Soren where to apply the paste?
I think Lark doesn't. I don't think Lark really says anything. It's Soren. I mean, Soren's a druid, so Soren all of a sudden just gets that feeling, that heavy feeling of dusk in a forest, like a heavy cloak settling, and Lark stops moving as much when they look back, and when Lark's eyes look over to Soren, the dark color has given way to a very bright amber. And they just kind of look over and then look back down in front of them as if as if an indication of here, but you don't hear them say anything. You just feel the word.
So as that Soren carefully scoop a generous amount of the paste until your paws, it's kind of sticky, and the cold air kind of bites at your exposed fur and skin. But you're super focused, and with the determined breath, you press your paws gently to the exposed spot by the bark by the base, and you feel the chill of the tree's frozen heart, against your palms, against your little beans, and the paste, it feels thick and gritty, but it still begins to kind of seep a little into the cracks, as if it's responding to the druid's touch, and you move back.
I think I would immediately go into Helga's pouch thing. Just... I don't know how comfortable Helga is, but I'm assuming Helga kind of babies Soren a little bit. Yeah. But it's just wipe, and gets into the pouch.
I definitely put my hand up just to make sure you had somewhere to wipe it off.
Thank you. It's stuck on my feet.
Aww.
I won't get into the pouch I'm cold. It's awful.
So as Soren is getting cleaned up, Astrid waves over Ava and says, "It's time," and she will kneel by the tree and have you pour the water around her, and it's kind of the water in the basin is still shimmering in the moonlight, and the cold air feels heavy with expectations, and it seems that even the rustling of the stone pine trees seems to hush, as if the land is holding its breath. And next to Astrid, Runa is standing, focused on the pendant, the token of your rune, the last protector of the tree before them. She tightens around it, and she kind of looks at Astrid, and you can almost feel the weight of their shared history, of everything they've sacrificed. And even though they don't say anything, it's it's the feeling that they together are the hope for Vartra. And Helga, you have taken up a spot to be the protector and be the guard. As they are doing this, there's suddenly a villager, eyes wide with panic, and suddenly moves, trying to get past you towards the tree, completely desperate. Don't know why, but they're desperate and they're panicked. And I know that without hesitation, Helga would step forward and try and stop them.
It's a full tackle.
All right.
It's like a streaker, and then Helga is like standing like this, totally still, like making sure that everything's good. As soon as they move, like Helga just like goes and just like it's like a T-bone. I'm just like going straight through, stopping them where they are.
Every time I jump in your pack, every single time. Why?
I didn't drop you this time.
Not yet. Or else
You're in the pack.
Not yet.
Just hear.
Well, you know, Helga didn't drop the first. You're just, dropping with Helga. So roll me an athletics check.
Okay.
See if you can. It's not a streaker, but the panic.
Yeah, I know. But like a streaker.
Like a streaker.
Like a streaker, yes.
I'm a security guard on a football field or a
concert.
The other football field.
Oh, okay,
And
there
I'm
we
just
go.
reacting.
Yep.
And that's a 9.
Ooh,
Hell yeah. Sorry.
absolutely. Full on football tackle.
Hey.
You take that villager down. And what do you say to them as you kind of guide them away from the ritual? You don't raise your voice.
No.
Because you don't want to interrupt the ritual, yeah? So
Yes.
what do you say to the villager as you kind of drag them out of the way after getting tackled?
I drag them like this, so like their head is here, and I just whisper, "I'm brave, I'm strong, and I'm not scared. Scared about tonight. I'm brave, I'm strong. There's nothing to be scared about." And I just like, repeat that as I drag them away.
Right. So the villager kind of like hesitates, like, what the? They're still kind of panicked, but it's kind of like what you're doing is kind of short circuits.
Yeah.
Kind of like a distraction. And there's like a moment, but then they relent. And they're kind of like, okay.
Okay, now repeat after me. I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm not scared tonight. I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm not scared tonight.
Okay. And then, they slowly start backing away from you.
Just one little paw, just.
That wasn't me. I promise.
All right. So I know Helga will keep a close watch on them, but her focus kind of returns to the ritual, ensuring that no other distractions are going to happen. And the moon road that that Soren made, it's still thick and viscous. And Astrid kind of dips her hand into the leftover mixture, and she stains her fingers with the vibrant kind of brownish earth, and she places her hands against the rough bark of Vartra, kind of close to where the spot is, so that the pastes touch. And as she places her hands in the spot you have chosen, there's a sudden gust of wind, and it sweeps through the glade and sending a shower of frost falling from the branches. Sorry, Soren, it kind of lands right where your neck is. The ground trembles faintly, and the once still air crackles with energy. And if you can feel it, it's kind of like it's like a pee-pee shiver almost. Astrid closes her eyes, and her voice rises in a haunting melody, and it resonates through the frozen landscape, and Runa's face just really goes soft. The song carries like the ancient power of nature, the bond between the land and the Vetir, and the protector spirits that guard it. And Lark, it makes you feel warm inside, like you're home, like this is safety. And Runa's voice joins her soft at first and then growing stronger with each note, and their voices intertwine, kind of like a weaving thread of light, binding them to the heart of the tree. And then for a long, breathless moment, nothing happens. Everybody holds their breath. Like, the tree stands silent. Its branches are still heavy with frost, and the glade remains still, as though the world is caught in the frozen grip of winter still. Then, as in response to Astrid's and Runa's call, a tremor shakes at the ground beneath them, and the air begins to shift, and it's growing warmer. The frost on the tree begins to melt away in like tiny, tiny rivulets and drops, and the bark of Vardrick, covered in frost, pulses with a sudden, fierce energy, soft hum within the tree, and the once frozen branches shudder, and it's waking up. And then, as it's freed from the icy prison, the tree erupts like in a brilliant flash of light. The snow that has weighed down its branches falls away, and the first pink blossoms start to unfurl, glowing softly. And the air around the tree is full of vibrant energy. Life is back, the essence of life. And the winds shift, the snow and the ice retreat, the frost across the ground begins to melt. And then, Lark, you will see the Vetir, the original Vetir, the spirits of nature. They begin to emerge from the tree and the earth itself. And they're kind of ethereal and radiant. They're glowing with the same gentle light as the blossoms. And they kind of move in harmony, kind of dancing with the awakening of the trees. And you guys, you hear voices, but you can't really hear what they're saying. And it mingles with the melody of the song, and a chorus that reverberates through the glade and the land itself. And Lark, you would be able to tell that it's an ancient song of rebirth and reinventing and growth that is sung for spring. And suddenly the air starts to smell sweeter. You can smell the blossoms, and the chill is lifting as the warmth returns to the glade. And then the branches are filled with life. The cycle of spring is returning, and with it, the promise of balance. And there's your two women, Runa and Astrid. She still has her hand on the tree. Her face is illuminated by the soft light of the blossoms, and her eyes are filled with like a deep, bittersweet joy as she watches it, and the weight of the years of just fall away. And Runa just watches her, and you can see how for her this means so much that Astrid came back, that she came back to take off this duty and protect the tree. And she kind of puts her arm around her shoulder, and now the ritual is complete. The tree is saved, and the land will begin to heal. And with that, you guys have saved spring.
Yeah. And I, like, once all, like, the fun, you know, the happy, like, stuff, like, you know, happens, I just yell, "So, how do we get back, Astrid? Because I don't think you're coming with us." Wait, no, give our navigator a map.
Lark is going, no, I got the, please don't interrupt and is trying to I think is looking between the group, and the Vetir is like, wait, can anybody see this? Am I the only, wait, don't, like, putting cloak up, like, don't see me, nobody can see me. It's like, okay, it's okay, we'll get it. Helga,
Sorry
let's
for
go get a drink.
interrupting your
Helga,
special
let's go get a
moment.
drink.
Soren, no shit, like, as it's getting warmer, was on, like, approaching behind, basically, Helga's shoulder, like literally doing kid, like, the whole time, just like, so that's why I love when she's like, so how do we get back? And Soren's like, and they're just like, never mind. I'm just gonna go over this.
So as Runa is, you know, hugging Astrid shoulder, and Astrid kind of puts her head on her thing. They're just having a moment. They don't even hear you. Now, to answer Lark's questions, everybody else just saw the light and the shimmer, but you were able to see the original Vetir, who are basically the parents of your race, of the Vetir that the player can be in this life. And you were also the only one to understand what they were singing. Everybody else saw the light, and they heard the spirits kind of speaking and joining into the thing, knowing that the sisters.
Oh no,
No.
Lark was more embarrassed in the like, oh god, don't look at me. I'm not here.
So, and you were successful in restoring the balance to the sacred tree, Vartra, and helped Astrid and Runa find peace and reconnect. And you were able to stop the frost from spreading even further. And yeah. Oh,
Lesbians brought back spring. Woo! Moral of the story. Thank you.
moral of the story: you need gaze for the proper cycle of nature.
absolutely, because each of you had a thing, a part to play, and they rebounding, bonding with each other was also a thing that could have also gone terribly wrong. But there was Helga
Hell
helping.
yeah. Okay.
What can I say?
Depending on how many
Together.
successes you had, you would have would have been able to save the tree or not save the tree.
I think as they're like walking away, Sword's like, I really thought they were gonna kiss. I don't know Helga, what happened? Like,
I think I'm the problem. I'm a little
I
too loud
think,
sometimes.
yeah,
I don't know what
think.
it is.
you're
I
never the
think
problem.
Soren is looking over at or Lark is looking at Soren when Soren says that is just like, wait, they were gonna kiss? Did I miss it? I was watching.
so.
I was
I
watching
mean-
the other. There was other dancing. There was kissing. Did I miss the kissing?
Okay, so here's the
No, I
thing.
thought they were like literally as we're like gossiping away.
But here's the thing. I was like, when I was alone with Runa, I was like, you gotta get that. You know what I'm saying? You can't let it go, dude.
We can't say we didn't encourage them.
I told Runa, like, you have to because I'm older than you. That's what I said. You have to.
Seniority, you need to kiss that person right now.
I'm your elder, and as your elder, I'm telling you, you have to kissies. Okay?
Whatever will work.
All right, my badass shield maidens. It is time for our outros. All right. Let us know who you are, where we can find you, and whatever else you want to tell us. And first, tell us who was playing Ava.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Mary. I've been playing Aoife. My pronouns and her pronouns are she, her. As far as where you can find me online at the Nerd on Wheels everywhere on social media. Coming up for me, you can find me on Enchanting Sorcery Productions every other Wednesday for Fandelver and Below, Halia's Harriers. It is a unique spin on the D&D lore. We've kind of just thrown all the D&D lore out and just made our own. So if you want to see a group of we're heroes. We'll call ourselves heroes. Try and fight a fascist government. We are currently nearing the end of our first arc and trying to overthrow a fascist regime. You can also find me starting on April 7th, Mondays on Logomancy Media for the Mega Man D&D crossover. We are using the new 2024 D&D and putting it in the world of Mega Man. So if you are looking for some nostalgia from some classic video games, it is a fun amalgamation of the two, full of laughs and all the crazy antics that you would expect.
Ooh, I love it. All right, tell us, who brought Soren to life?
Hello, everyone. That's me. I'm Torin, or Torin Talks Creativity on the internet, or Torin Talks. As far as Soren, my lovely little sand cat, pronouns was they, them. My pronouns are she, they. As far as where to find me, best place is probably Twitch at Torin Talks Creativity. I'm there 2 times a week. And then coming up, I'm joining a stream team. We're going to be raising money for the World Wildlife Fund that we did, same thing as last year. I'm actually going to run a one-shot. And so if anyone's interested or wants to, basically meme animals escaping a human convention. Best way to think it. So
Let's go.
if you
Love
ever like nighttime, daytime, Black Heron, that was one of the characters I've made. Honey Badger don't give a shit is another one. So if you ever wanted to be the Honey Badger that don't give a shit and try to escape a human convention to be a Honey Badger out in the wild, you can absolutely join it. I'm looking for players. Haven't announced it officially yet. Will tomorrow. But that's coming up, and that will be absolutely. Basically, expect memes, expect silliness, and then any money that's donated will give points to the players to give them advantage or plus bonuses, or will give me some bad points so I can affect the game and torture my players out of love. So we'll be doing that April 14th, I believe. I'll check on the date, but anyway, for a week, and I'll be running 2 games during that week. So if anyone wants to be absolute chaos gremlins, this is your time. Other than that, I'm going to be another series, Blood and Lyrium, on the transmissions on Twitch, and this will be our 3rd season. It's a Dragon Age TTRPG, and we are basically, if you're familiar with Dragon Age, we've escaped the Blight, so Origins timeline. We are making our way into Orlais as little nobodies that are trying to be heroes.
Oh, I love it. All right. Now let us know who brought all the affirmations in Helga.
That's Merm, but Merm isn't talking about Merm today. Merm is talking about something that is super important. Okay, everybody, we have an election coming up in the United States. It's on April 1st. It's not even midterms, and we're talking about this. Okay, I am from the swing state of Wisconsin, and Wisconsin has the most important election to date, because we are trying to decide how much money does it take Elon Musk to buy a state. And guess what? As Wisconsinites, we're going to show up and we're going to show you that it takes an infinite amount of money that doesn't fucking exist. So please, if you can vote, please vote. If you can't vote, talk to other people about voting, because holy shit, this is really important. You can go to, I don't know if I can post links in the chat, but if you go to vote.org /am I registered to vote, it's going to let you know if you're registered to vote. If you're in an incredible state like Wisconsin, you can vote. You can register to vote day of at your polling station. And if you're in the other states that don't have that, I'm so sorry. But it's so important for you to speak up, speak out, have those conversations for anyone who's over the age of 18, because voting is still part of who we are as Americans, and we need to keep it going. And that's Merm.
It is a right, but it's also a responsibility.
Yes.
And with that very, very important thing, let us know who brought Lark to life today.
Hi. I'm Keldry. My pronouns are am air. And I played Lark, whose pronouns are they and it. And I am here to affirm the fact that your pronouns are valid. You are valid. If you want to find me playing a bunch of fantasy games and you love fantasy lore, I live over on the Mossling channel on YouTube as Starlet Moss. But I also want to shout out Mercury Stardust, the trans handyman, because she is doing a fundraiser right now that I, as a disabled trans person, cannot unfortunately donate to, because I am just barely staying housed right now. But it is very important. It is for gender affirming care. And it helps a lot of people who can't get care right now, and we have to take care of each other, and that is very important. So, March 27th through April 25th, there's going to be a streamathon. Please watch Mercury Stardust. Please, please donate to help trans people. And that is me out.
Awesome. Also, the most beautiful overlay was also put together by Keldry. The art provided to us by Artfully Queer Heroes production. Also, Keldry has been our tech goblin today, so yay!
Yay!
Also, shout out to Deer in Spotlight on Tumblr. They're the ones that did my PNG, who is adorable, and I love them.
Yes. All right. I am Vivi or Vivacia. You can find me on Blue Sky as Vivacia. That is, where you are. However, if you do not like reposts about, politic activities and how you're going to get your ass up and do something, then this German is probably not somebody you should follow. You can find most of my TTRPG links and stuff at vivacia.contactin.bio. So we're going to be back here on some point because we will put a whole season of Vildheim together where all my friends are going to be badass shield maidens who think they're Valkyrias, but there's no gods in Vildheim. How can they be Valkyria if there's no gods? What happened? Why can't they remember that much? So hopefully in May, there will be a season of our badass shield maidens. Now, to let you know, today we played Vildheim. Vildheim is a D10 light system written by Awfully Queer Heroes publications, which you might already know from some of their D&D adventures, and also their ADHD and D&D supplement. Now, this might be their last project. They are funded. However, they have set their funding so that everybody else got paid, and they didn't plan in their own getting paid. I know that they've spent $2,500 on art alone. Human art. Only human art. And it is beautiful, and I love them. So if you have a little bit of extra money, you want a beautiful system, and we can, get this beautiful world map going, go ahead. Head over to Kickstarter and pledge them some money. Maybe we can pledge them enough money that we can get some more to get your checklist going. First off, go check if you're registered to vote. If you are, make plans to vote and bug other people about voting. Second, make sure that you check into any and all fundraisers, especially for trans and other minorities who are already in trouble right now. My green card owning butt knows that, but hopefully make sure that you do that if you have a little bit of extra money. And then also, this is Nerds with Dice. You can join us on Mondays at 7:30 Central for This Is Our Town, a Here Be Monster series. On Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Central, there's Shadowlight and Personae, the chorus. On April 3rd, there's Ironsworn, the Valley, which returns finally. And on April 16th, there's going to be a Pokemon United one-shot, which will be available on YouTube. And you can find more Nerds with Dice adventures over on YouTube, where you can watch our saved VODs, VODs, whatever you want to call it. This one will also be there. And then the last one, if you want to catch up on the shenanigans on how they even made it here. You can stay updated on everything Nerds with Dice by subscribing to the Nerds with Dice Substack. And if you have a story to tell, you wish to, put on here, or just, a game that you want to show off, the Creators app is always open and can be found on Blue Sky. And you can also just ask for the link in Discord, which also means join the Nerds with Dice Discord and enjoy all the stupid memes that I like to post. Also, there is links for merch. Yes, Kat, absolutely. You have to go look at the merch. Do look at the merch. All right. It was so much fun playing with you guys. I love playing Vildheim, and I hope you guys go give it a look. There's also some an interview and a review listed on the campaign page. And thank you so much for jumping in and playing another one shot from my crazy mind, inspired by Scandinavian folklore. And I know I butchered all these names horribly, but thank you so much for being here. And, stay tuned for more Vildheim on Nerds with Dice on some point. Bye.
Goodbye.